Voice of Salone Network. Today, May 8th, 2020. As we all know, every Friday we come on the show for talk about what's going on at Salone, under the Salone, the current issue with the happen in Salone. So today, as soon as most people don't know, or some people don't even know, so the president may talk to the nation. After so many things that happened from last week, it seems like it's forever, from last week to this week, we don't realize there's so many things that happen in a short span. And then plenty of people then come out on social media and other medias then urge the president to come out and talk to the nation. So today the president may come and give a speech. That speech the president gave, we know so plenty of people then get their own perception about the speech. But before we go further, I go ask my guest team. I'm going to introduce my guest team and come in. Then we go take from there and pilot the show. I go first, the ladies first. So I will ask Miss Matilda Cole for introducing himself tonight.
Humble them on a good evening. Hope so and all they do well and staying safe.
Thank you very much, Miss Matilda. And also I ask Mr. Mohamed Kutubukuruma for introducing himself, sir.
Okay. Good evening to the listeners and fans and supporters. We're glad again for coming tonight for see if we all can keep company.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Kutubu. First of all, before we get to the president's speech, what we go do, we go try for talk about some of the things that really happened this past 1 week, where we know plenty chaos, and we lost more lives again. After we come the last time we talked about the prison break, we lost lives again. We understand we don't lost more lives again concerning some riots and other things that were happening in the country. The first place we know in Alonsar. Is it Mashaka or one of them places, and we understand say the youth they mean according to what we gather, then say the youth they mean I guess one of the youth leader where they call Borgo, and then the youth they mean come and ask for me then go release them. The chief say no, they're not going to release them, and after that thing they happen to what we gathered, there's not two things they go on at that point. Also people and tell the youth them say the poll where the chief go put up there now money it take for the 5G. So the youth wants the 5G poll on the place there. So the Borgo guy come out and speak against the chief. And because of that, I guess the guys, so the youth them talk, say, well, they're friendly for release them. And they're not saying no release them. Then the riot break out na Mashakade. I think na Lonsar. I will not forget me so sorry because they mixed in 2 towns and they together. They set the pole on fire, which that may for cause serious problem, and one person may get for die. And the police may end up for good and chief, the money chief, he was pulling properties and everything, but they may for, I guess, most of them youths, then they called in a freedom. And then 2 days ago, we understand, say, the same thing happened again at Tombo, where say after the 3 days lockdown, somebody tell the chiefs them say, then the people not for go fishing. So because of that, that may for cause another riot with the people and say that their livelihood that one day they need for go for gets them hand to mouth. So another riot may happen. So again, I go turn to my guests, make I ask them, make them say go get a young, because as we all know, the information they are always fluid and they change from day to day. Maybe then get a different explanation from what I get, and then you want to think about how they assess the situation and they with this too much riots where they go on and waiting them to see the cause of. Again, I go start with Miss Cole, Miss Matilda. Over to you, ma'am.
The Tombo issue, honestly, the picture not really clear. Some people then they talk for say, now being a call or a cry or foul from the chief. And some people then they talk saying as somebody that may arrest, and as a result then disagree with the person in arrest. So therefore, then demonstrate for the person in release. Reason why, they pelt stones them. They stone the police station and whatnot. But in any case, waiting we see way not been right is maybe the way the policeman them or the guards them initially handle the situation. We see a restoration and calm and dialogue way I believe either is the Minister of Youth or Deputy Minister of Youth, arrived at the scene and really called for peace and dialogue for prevail. That is how you handle a situation. That is how you go into a hostility. We Salone police them and soldiers them. They're not really trained on how to de-escalate situations. When they go into situations, instead of de-escalating first, when at the first rule that day of engagement in any high tension situation, time and time again, we notice that they aggravate the situation. But as we go before, when they talk, we go try for get inside and talk about some things them. Is violence the answer? No. Is retaliation answer? No. And then there is a third force where they bring into the mix. Me, that third force, the person with me particularly as a person, I don't ever pay attention to any of in audios them or any of in whatever. But I believe that person they somehow is gaining roots in within the local population. So therefore, if the authorities not cognizant of the fact, say they are losing grip on their people, and that one individual has the power to influence people so much so that according to my understanding, the person they not even live in a Salone. But if he gets that much power, that much authority, that much conviction, for even arouse that type of, reaction there from people, I think that the authorities have to be very careful, and they really have to go back to the drawing board and say, what are we missing? I think the question that they should really ask is, are they really listening to their people? Are they really taking in the concerns of their people? And if they are, why are we seeing what we are seeing?
Well, thank you very much. Like to Mr. Kutubu, because another thing will happen is that we understand, say, the chief at one point talked, say, Amy want for initiate the social distancing business because of that. We bought an audio with most people that listen around the country. We did try enough for calling him now because we know one for game, they actually we not deserve. But the young people then say now they put on a big set, then go sit down for listening to them, then come together for listening to them. So the chief in the try for stop that and say, "Una for come together for do for listening to, and I can listen on a device them individually instead of on a cluster, which is against the social distancing rules." Then, so Mr. Kutubu, over to you. What thing are you on take adding that to that? Because you get two stories and talks now because they stop them for go fishing, or then talks because the social distances make them the youth and come on the streets. Over to you.
Thank you. Me look at this problem or problems that the country in entirely a different light that I look at. One, the politicization of security service, i.e. the army and the police, where we don't allow them to become part of the political process. The role of the police is very simple. Therefore, protect the citizens. And the main rule that the police, for all intent and purposes, cannot see itself as part of the body politic. It cannot. Yes, they work under the supervision of the politicians. Their guidelines stay with it. But once you do your work, the well-being of the citizen within the prisms of the Constitution, like paramount. This would not substantially deviate from, again, me, like I said, look at from a historical context. When I see police in Salone, from the last white guy we left, killing, to the first guy we came, William Lee, to the next people like William Lee, people like Malcolm Parker, people like Jenkins Smith. A few of them, those guys were real professional police officers there. And even the police, they say, we see them a very physical appearance, which they actually, they're an embodiment of the state, they're the mirror of the state. We will be proud of them. Again, waiting happen. Politics can creep inside it. The police see itself as part of it. Within the police, you get and go create a union where they call a unit where you call ISU or whatever that was. I don't know why Mr. Stevens being create a police within a police. Then such division where we get the armed and they only accountable to the man we created that to Stevens instead of to the established protocol. So all of it here. So like I said, what happened? I don't even me they go straight out the beginning the profile how we will manage the situation. First of all, the police or the army they get for return to the core mission. This question of orders from the above, about that, not a misnomer in the scheme of things. Orders from the above, that's out of the question. If we say we are just an egalitarian society where everybody get a role for play, now the country is socio-economic, political, cultural upliftment, if we all, there are certain things that we will not go look at as scans. Another one, the uniformity of the law. We cannot create a situation where if now this party they in power, everything where they do okay, then the other party then in the law go for dumper. We cannot create that thing. This is a revolving a door. Then only go on. When SFPP they in power, the police see themselves as an apex, or as a satellite, or as an extension of them. And the same thing go for APC. So this is now a cross-cultural breeding problem within or to the party them. So where God make we fortunate enough for them that they place there, so other than we get caught up in the, he says, she say, then what will we do? Let we take the middle position, say, no, this is not good. Especially so, we will find ourselves in a democratic society where governed by the fundamental edifice of the rule of law, where nobody knows above the law, and even police officers are even held accountable also under the law. Because even in the course of you doing your job, if you step out of line, you are going to be held accountable. So these are the things that we need for the people. Because what's on the way they happen under, but then again, as they wrap up, and they also wrap up at the caliber of people there. When you see a Salone and the youth then, you get what you call a house of functional illiterates and sea of ignoramus system, fundamentally lacking in capacity for rationalize things into context and perspective. As soon as you say, they don't jump. And this is what these politicians are capitalized on. Then they misuse and abuse the youth system. So these are the things that where God make within that place where they thought that they we need for appeal to the calculus of the youth say these guys do not get any future for now. They don't get any future for now. So let's hand them back to us so we can continue.
Yeah, because I know we got forget to the president's speech later where we should go for play all mango and the Wakanda etc. But right now we want for start for what's happened from last week come to this week because we know the chaos on the country. But waiting back for me more is not like seems like every chaos now will happen depending on who say it happen and what make it happen. It can be a political undertone. We're not going criminals anymore in Salone. We're not going to break the law. We got everybody now just get party color. This na in a neighbor understand. Anything that will happen if you happen na Bo na SPP them. If you happen na Cambia or Lonsa or Machaka na APC. So when we don't politicize everything that is the country and even the police itself, depending on what side the situation, then they react. So back to you, Ms. Cole. What thing you don't take about the way everything not come from the police to the leadership and everything? Why people then feel say this is happening most often these days?
You see, Mr. Kutubu talks something where in analyzing the situation, we cannot ignore the creation of the special paramilitary police. That, for me, was the inception. We bring about the infiltration of party politics into, the policing system. Because that paramilitary group there, according to my own small reading and research where me don't do or writings, they've been created specifically for serve the antics, the guise and urges and caprices of the then president. Today where we they talk, and sometimes I know say I can disagree with Mr. Kutubu, but there is one thing I always say is that when it comes to certain things, you cannot ignore history and you have to go back to history. And say if you don't know Usa you come out, you not go know Usa you they go. It's very important for make we know Usa we come out. And why make the system where we find ourselves right now, it not separate. There is no separation between, governance and the civil service, the police force, and the judiciary. Because there was a time in history when a particular set of people deem it fit that or envision that they will live forever. That they were not how you call them, they say waiting at the word self where they try for forget, they mean feel say they're not immortal beings them, that they're not going to ever die, and that the actions of today not going to lead to repercussions of tomorrow where their young Pekin and their young grand Pekin them go suffer. So now that we they see right now, we see a breathing system. Listen, I don't always talk Salone not a 5-year-old. Salone na 55, going on 60. And the last time I talk, and I also say a 60-year-old man, they able counting with tear and age. So it don't tell where this thing don't they fester. It don't tell where then they grow, where then they put manure on the dirty, where then they fertilize the dirty. And at every point, at every time, like where they can say where 2 elephants they suffer, where 2 elephants they fat, now the grass they suffer. But unfortunately, is that the grass has failed to realize that now then go suffer. It no matter what it happen, that they don't institute them, that they don't give them the Kool-Aid, and they don't drink so much of the Kool-Aid that they don't know which way is up anymore. So here we are at the 21st century. We get a country where so starkly divided, where you name, determine your survival within an institution, where you name, determine whether you merit a position or you not merit a position. It's not a matter of what your output is anymore. It's a matter of what your name can afford you. My name na Matilda Josephine Orimisa, and I can go Orimisa Cole. You not go see the likes of my name anywhere around, the governing of Sierra Leone. And we should ask ourselves why. Are these names also not part of the Sierra Leonean history? Are they also not part of the building of the Sierra Leonean culture? Are they also not part of the building of the establishment? So make we go back to our history. Make we see who side that first dirty, who side and dig that first dirty, and who side and put them. This na the term for the nyole. We don't cook the awujodon. We don't dig the hole. Now na the nyole. Who side the nyole get for fodon? Na they we get for talk but now.
All right, Mr. Kutubu, I'll come back to you because it seems like, say, at the time for not get caught up in these generalizations of with politics, we don't need to continue on Salone. Because the last time I remember we President Biyomi go visiting Kenema, and I saw some people in a state to about to remember green they run away, then they go on around, and somebody talks in a SAPP them. So my question ask is, waiting because of them support certain party or them wear green, does that make them an SAPP? Or now the individual way it caused the crime? Because President Biyomi leader, it didn't have the park. You know, minister them cause that trouble. Why would they name the SAPP? The same thing will happen in the North and APC there. You know, we don't feel say we don't allow the politicians then for divide so much that now we don't begin a lawsuit between them and they go for continue on both sides because where APC come, it happened to SAPP. Where SAPP come, it happened to APC. When the police go this, when you feel say the police for realize say crime not gets color. I don't care which party color you wear. If you cause crime, you're not a criminal, you for be arrested. They're not for begin name you, for not for generalize you, for say you're not APC or you're not SAPP. Because when people begin hiding under this banner, then go begin to support the wrong things and then talk back on the good things. So you, when and what if you say the police need to acknowledge say there is no crime on colors. If you're not criminal, you're not criminal. You don't need to be APC or SAPP. You're not just an individual criminal. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Again, I go back to Sastet. The police gave a step back. When I can talk, I can for, kind of, juxtapose me argument with whose side are they, how are they see things. People, they're very quick at coming for say, hey, man, look, wait till they talk about them, people, then people don't take over how many years. That now we call mass of ignorance on the part of them people, and way they advance. They kind of an argument in it. So you don't need to wait for 200 years for law begin to the right thing. No. Places like America, they not been lucky enough. They patch. They look, oh, I don't try this. Oh, I don't try this. But God made it and they put that together. That one document where they be right, where they be signed na Philadelphia, na City Hall in Philadelphia. Take today na in waiting they decide for them, they submit, everybody become subliminal to that document with a right. Now they force to start. So they call it the rule of law, where nobody, your office not high, neither you not too low for them. This is where they begin to look at, this problem and how we solve them. Now we dey a sitting president, now they can't go now the court of the parliament, they can't go there. If the votes been voted, that minute when they announced that Mr. Trump would have been out of office. But equally so, Salone would say a president, once they in office, whatever I do, nothing. But then when the president comes to office, he's here for defend and uphold the constitution of the country. And the constitution is the basis. When he talks to Salone, now the basis like that. In that. So the police therefore go back to the role. So we now when we say we are a society where they function on the fundamental edifice of the rule of law. Now we are the locomotive, now we they drive the train, now we they drive. We the police, we job now for stop crime, for secure the citizen, for do this. And I know they secure you because you're not an SAPP person. Then if you're not APC person, I left you vulnerable. No. The same right where me SLPP person get under the law for protect me, now the same rights, the man within a UDP, NPP, whatever it is, now the same right he get for them be secured under the law. They say equal justice, equal law, equal justice. This now therefore begin to train with people there. The guys say, oh, they hire just like this material talk, especially when they create that that paramilitary police, you for protect the politician. The allegiance is not to the constitution. The allegiance is not to the rule of law. The power give me gone. Once power get gone, anything as long as you get the protection of power, that's about it can do anything. Dr. Ablai Country, God and Sarah, he almost lost in life. In the hands of them paramilitary. God bless one lady, now he saved her way he recognized her. The manhandle where they are actually manhandler. Yeah, even though the police get powers for do anything, but they are also laws them. Then they hold them accountable. But yeah, they hold you accountable. You hold nobody accountable. Everybody they write roughshod over, the constitutional liberties of fellow citizens. So these are the things that we need for beginning to say, hey, wait a minute. Yes, we let the police forget the police force because the police, but within the prisons of that, una says the laws and una as police, the law also una not the above the law. Everybody has to be held accountable. When a leader give you something for do, if you know say this one, it give you for do, they are variance without a color. There is nothing wrong if you make like a no. But the thing is, like we come back. The politicians they don't misuse and abuse with institutions. They don't take a feel that they get and that they personal property. The police is not the personal property of any government. Neither the armed forces. The armed forces there for protect the territorial integrity of the country from land grabbers, the foreign grabbers, not of the president gets up. Yes, you might be commander in chief of the armed forces, but not to you get up. Now the citizens of the country that they get the police, that they get the army, and they for work for them. These are the things that we were fortunate enough for them and they place for the day. And said these politicians they're not good. They work at the toss put Salone first. No, they are not putting it. They youths they misuse and abuse the youth said it. Those youths have no future. These are the things that when we did that they say we live for the preach. Back to you.
All right. So what are they can do? I will ask the technical team and play them 2 videos that we'll collect from Tumbo. Them now they can't talk because they say we talk about it. We talk about the dog. You get for talk on the bone. So let me watch the video. Then we'll come now for talk about the youth and young responsibility in society as well. Let the technical team go ahead and play that video. Just short video. Then we'll come back soon.
Yes, sir. They don't get Nazi. I tell you, say that like that way back. So I'm gonna go kill you. I went up about it. Now woman they left now. You know something, Alex. Now woman they left now. Let them go for it. Then they run like they do. You don't know that is them. I don't know woman they left now. Then they run that way. But why don't come up? Why don't take that to one? They're afraid. You don't sabi that. Let them see people head up. Because I kill 1, 2. Yes. They take 1 gun.
If you don't take time, any barrels with the answer,
they kill. Because they don't get the gun. As you see now, you know, people that they strike because Sojaman and policemen we don't know how the information come out. They say let people not go fishing, not go this. You know, people of Tombo, they see no man at the streets, don't jump out, and to really the youth man and not agree accept, and because they know say they all and they see that they survive now. Like this, the government really need to put measures in place to see how best they can stop that kind of situation there. Because people that they survive that they see.
All right, family. We just showed them some of the video and graphic. Some people would then shoot, would then die. We're not going to show that one day because it's too graphic. But we just want people to get a sense of what the youth and self try for do. In fact, we get some pictures and back outside and burn their own hospital, then attack the police station and stone the politicians and do other things. Why make we say this? Because as much as we blame the police, we know they need plenty from the need for change, plenty in the country for them to build the citizen and confidence again in them. At the same time, the youth take a responsibility. Then safe if you go vandalize different areas and burn places, so we take it for benefit, for benefit, because of either mistrust or because of waiting somebody tell you. Yourself as a youth get a responsibility. You get a responsibility for make sure that neighborhood now your neighborhood, that area now your area. Where you burn the area, tomorrow where you seek hospital not for care you go. When you pull the police station, somebody sees advantage by you tomorrow, you want to go police station, not inside for go. As bad as the police can be, you still get for go meet them back for some things that you need, some protection. So at the count to Miss Matilda, waiting now you don't take about the youth and your responsibility in the society and how them be more careful in trading this one. I don't say yes, we need sometimes efficiency then oppress. They go for fight back against the system. But in most cases, we know say the system will always go for win. In most cases, now you the poor man go for die. So waiting we need for tell the youth for understand so there's a balance. As much as you try for fight against the system, but at the same time, you get for try for make sure so you stay alive. Over to you.
You know, too much oppression they lead to rebellion. Again, make we go back in history. You know, I will be remiss if I sit down here and talk about, you know, the duty of the youth them without I not go back a little bit to the history and, you know, the gruesome civil war where we experienced in Salone not too long ago. One of the reasons, one of the contributing factor, as I remember, I think I dedicate an entire chapter of my thesis to this particular phenomenon, was youth oppression. You know, disadvantage, they know they see a future. They see a very black future, and they also, at the same time, being used, you know, as political shields. So taking that into consideration, fast forward some 20 years now, I think I may be wrong, but I think it is. What have we learned? Waiting we don't learn. Waiting really, really we don't learn. Yes, we know say we get currently a Sierra Leone, we get over 70%, you know, youth unemployment. We also don't see a Sierra Leone where, you know, the youth then don't they so much in the brink of despair where they not get nothing, they don't lose all hope, they don't lose all sense of worth and all sense of being, that, you know, they disintegrate so low for they go drink Pampas water, chemical. For they ingest chemical and sleep for 3 days, because when they ingest that chemical, they're not, then they you know, the chemical, the reaction of the chemical in their system, they induce them into something where we go call you know, a semi-coma. They become comatose for about 3 days. So waiting then say when we become comatose, we not go remember say we not get nothing for it, we not get thing for do. At least when we wake back, we go back, we boil, we drink back. So that is the brink, that is the despair where we you know, the leaders of our country then don't you know, render we youths them to. But with everything else, waiting, I understand, and no say he act, and no say he bad. Because we person born in Pekin, it's not a born in Pekin for make in Pekin the language. A born in Pekin for a brighter future of them, they see vision, you know, they see a future for them Pekin them. But that is not the case. But to the youth them, I ask una, if una don't go destroy the hospital where una don't get. If una go, una destroy the police station where una get. If una go, una destroy the small property them where people and don't try for beer. If una go, una destroy the small shop or small buffer them where people and don't try for make. How una want una community for go before? Because then thing then they way una they destroy, where una sick. Now that same hospital they then get for care una for treat una. Where una pikin then sick, where una mama and una papa then sick, where una auntie and una uncle then need treatment. Now that same hospital there, nine don't they in place for make them take care of una. So if una well waiting the pata in the name of we vex, in the name of we are being oppressed, in the name of we are being used as political shield, nobody they pay attention to we anymore. If we well the small structure then where they waiting una feel to say una don't achieve by doing that, by destroying properties them, waiting at the message really at the end of the day, waiting at the message where una they send out, waiting exactly una feel to say una don't achieve really, because tomorrow where you seek you aid at you, who say you want make them carry you go that hospital where they 5 minutes from your house, where you don't well and done. If tomorrow, God forbid, you aid at you, the need for care you go hospital. Now, because you don't well that hospital where they 5 minutes from you, now the need for go touch you na omolanke or go look for taxi or go look for poda first of all. Sometimes if I don't even touch you go na the waka, touch you go na that hospital there, but because you don't contribute for destroy. Something where they there for help you safe and help your family members them. Guess what they happen? Now you don't add economic burden on your family members there. You don't add economic burden on yourself. Because now before they touch you work at 5 minutes, then get for can look for place for care you go 1 hour. So really wanna sit down and think, waiting really wanna really achieve by destroying properties. And not for say when there is a riot, the first thing for go to first now for go destroy people them property, burn people them motorcar, burn people and shop them, burn this, that. But don't forget, you are destroying the very community that you claim you're protecting. You are destroying the very community that you claim you love. You are destroying the very community that's been able to afford you something. So really waiting on the achieve. I not say make una not vent on our frustrations them, but find another way for vent on our frustrations them. And next time, when big man can give you small change and say, go team up, go make bumbu soro for me. Ask and say, Usa you picking day. Ask and say, Usa you picking day. Where he put in picking force before, then you de bien you fall. But if you not put in picking force now, you they come for can ask for go put you your life in danger, for go put you your life at risk. Like for say your mama no pinning like out. In your wife pinning for bonnie picking them, then una for begin ask una self questions. Them waiting really una achieve at the end of the day. There is a better way for protest. There is a better way for make una voices can be heard. There is a better way for stand up for una society and stand up for una rights them. I am not saying you shouldn't stand up for your rights. I'm not saying you shouldn't stand up for your community, but there is a way to go about it. We know they lead to destruction. Because when you don't destroy, don't forget. Now money, now involved for build that thing there. Now money, now involved for take build that structure there. So who say you want now make that money they come? Where you don't well waiting there because they get for come back and can make that thing there. So how una want to make we go before? If that is the attitude you are going to take. You see, I am frustrated, but I have found a means to communicate my frustration. How about we sit down and think about a better alternative of communicating our frustration, of exercising our democratic right, which is, yes, the right to protest, but can we protest without destruction? Can we do that? My fellow youths, I am calling you all out. Can we protest without destructions? Without destruction of property? Because we una do and una self una they do. Because one don't pull that also, I don't pull that makituma waiting and call. Sometimes that mommy, sometimes they sorry give you one place to clean. But if you don't go pull in, but for how you feel to say it go manage give you that one place to create tomorrow morning. When I think but on actions then.
All right. Thank you very much. I think that was really touching, and I believe you touched on so many things in way. somebody will get common sense need for look into. We all know, say, in any developed country, people don't get the right for protest. And we did advocate for maybe we'll get a peaceful protection, protest every time we don't for protest, maybe allow them and go down peacefully. Because when people enable protest, sometimes they can channel into the anger into riot, which would still continue for talk to the new police chief, make them go look into the constitution for realize, say, protest, there's nothing wrong with protest. When people don't for protest, when I therefore not begin pick and choose, we don't forgive the permits to. Would I in a part when I get permit, in a part not get permits, no. But so many protest means say what in the camp for saying they not let what you do. Now then they protest against you. People that they can protest for say things where you like. So Salone, we need for land say protest not for can praise you. And for can push you for something not like. So again, it's a two-way street. We continue for put pressure on the police, but then realize say people in need for protest at any time, not to your business for agree to turn for protest or not, give them the paper. But at the same time, you say for the protest. You self get a responsibility for make sure say that protest what you go do for be peaceful. Because when you make them peaceful, one let Salone develop. When somebody don't come on, you don't suffer in your whole life, you don't build that house. You go burn them. We not get insurance in a Salone. Most of the houses they not get insurance. We see burn them, other person go build them back. Not just that person, my entire family don't put in a street. So you say for things say you set your action. The policeman then action can tailor to your action as well. Because if the man also say they destroy somebody's own life, then can take your life in that process as well. So you got to think careful about what you do, where they go destroy somebody's own property because of your anger. Now over to you, Mr. Kutubu. Our main question to you is that we all know so they're on social media. We know so many people are when they incite, but it's too much propaganda. Because propaganda, yes, they find the election on done. Now we'll talk about development. But we get people in the kind of social media. They put so many things in the way we know say not to do. Talk about this kind of killing where they go on, that kind of killing they go on, this and that. The insights the youths there, give them so many negative informations where we find out say most of them youth are not smart enough for differentiate between them here. So again, if since they don't begin Apple, don't begin lost youths in life, waiting if it's on the government responsibility to watch them people in the way we self know. We know most of them, and some of them not even at the country there. Where then they continue for put the wrong information and put people their life in danger. What if you say then self forbidden your own responsibility towards the law?
Thank you. The collapse of education at Salone also now a very, very big factor is we are lucky enough we be the camel. When we see police really an authority. We defend the police. We respect the police. I mean, at the top of yesteryear police, so not to them, Timuli guys say, adult guy, they will work, we wear a comfort and back a uniform, not to them kind of police. The way you see, I mean, with the police dress, the uniform, I mean, how immaculate the uniform is from A to B. You see the aura of how they call it, because the police, now in the reflection of the state, basically the police, now in the state, you don't see, so because of the state uniform you wear. So you get forget and expect it. Down back, like I said, the collapse of education also not a contributing factor to this. You look, most of the young people, they're way out now. The level of education, not anything you write home about. So therefore, with that, there's nothing like if you, because you know, go imagine, you they go meet me say, go get, we not say, you get people then they were armed the past to the security people and they armed and they call them, you they expose me to that kind of opportunity. But I see you not bring your wife, you not bring your pikin, you not bring your auntie, you not bring your granny, you can't, you tell me. Then you know, I go wonder, well, what's going on? If I get the cognitive intelligence, obviously I don't even encourage you. But when I start early, I explain what these politicians are doing. This is across the board. Then they take advantage of the fact, say, like I've been called earlier, and ignoramus and they deal with it. And then functional illiterate them when I like remote control. You take as I need channel 5, you make any go there. Can anybody imagine somebody go even attack the mayor of a city? The mayor of the city of Freetown, Now, the chief administrator at that place, got elected by the citizens. An attack on the mayor, whether physical or in a very respectful way, now an attack on this entire city of Freetown. But the question is, how many youths they know that? You talk about the mayor. He said, America, you know the joke with the mayor now. For the mayor is well protected now. Well protected. 7 days a week, 24 hours around the clock. Can we say of that of the mayor of Sweden, say the government adequate protection? I mean, I know this don't have to say he get protection, because if the mayor had adequate protection, no way they will go too close to himself. It's not possible. Let you physically attack. But all this emanate from the fact that the youth today, youths are robots, robots. Don't go clean all day on a job, go sit down a party office. Una no get nothing for do. Future no day. Or some of the less of humans where they oversee, where they'll say, oh, the constant people, they me. All day una de pan this. I feel so sorry for we brothers and sisters they waiting in Holland. Where you go sit down, one less of a human, they make they all look bad. Because that audio in Holland come out. Whether you're not part of a move, you're not a part of a move, when all the share that nightmare. And if you say the less of human when they do that, so they never go to school. Because if you go to school, for you to call self-respect. Because whatever we do so now, you're not an ambassador for you, how they call it. Whatever they do now, people will say now, what thing will happen at host the night? Now they bring that it. Everybody that is representative of what they call it, you, your family, and your community, and everything. So when people they go out here and they do that thing, when they come to mind almost intuitively, well, this now the upbringing this. This is what obtains in the community. This is the education is very important. It is an ornament in society where you simply cannot afford to forget them. It is very, because with that it comes with intelligence, then it comes with social responsibility. And these are the things that are fundamentally lacking. The education or the social responsibility. When we become neighbors, then they implement discipline against neighbors. When you get out of line, you neighbors them, then they do that. Because you don't want to let the report go in the house. But these days, you go talk to anybody picking out, then you go find out, say, thank God, not in one good day. So these are the collective tragedy destroyed on before Salone, educational collapse, the picking on everybody for itself, God for all mentality. So when they picking and they can able put them, let them do things them handy works them, do things them. Not to all able go now the academic classroom, not to all able go there. Not to lost a papa you get for B, the guy will go Oxford, Cambridge, or grammar school, Prince of Wales, or a Methodist Girls' High School. No. But there are other areas also where they can able develop. And the politicians have overlooked at these things. Say these are resources to get the youths them. These are the resources of a nation. What they do, they're subjected to misuse and abuse. And then when they run, they dump them. They go dump them. So this also, I mean, all of this problem also, I want to blame them on the societal leaders, because why you forget all them about this, you don't have future. They didn't. These politicians, if actually when they all the time they make talk and they push you for, you know, can create environment for them about them, workshop them, things them, how they call them, why we need for they go overseas or they buy things them, where we can get like all them, why we investors and now why we this. What the investors are waiting at the roadmap on again for the investors they are for how they call it in youth them, because these are the people that work for the target. Say these are the next generation of electricians. What they get, the plumbers, what they get, the people that we get for who will road construction them, the people that we get for do this for we need for train them, but they are not training them. All the when election they come, they go and no can't go dance to Longo, or you go dance to Longo, no go do this. When they know how they can, after election, you don't see these guys there. So these are the collective tragedy this went on before that the society I don't fail the youth them because they don't try for see if they able harness whatever resources they get, You don't say, no, okay, you know, hey, we'll go school better. Okay, we'll put you here. We go do this. You will learn mechanic. You fix motor car. You will learn construction. You will do this. You know, do that. So for make them useful citizens, no, they don't make them very useless citizens. So now the trouble with this. Now I mean, at any time they're ready for sending, them. But then when they send them, for let them go confront, you know, then yeah, they open and lead them now. Sumptuous palace system. Then they eat every day. Everything. But you don't clean na pay na anywhere all day. Na you dey suck here all day. So then they you give 5 days, go do day, go do that. Then you go a minute. Because I don't see any reason for that. The police, they may you didn't oversee now. When the police, and I can tell anybody, we respect the police more than how they respect the president of the United States. Because when the police pull you over, for you they remain now, you can't, they remain. You buckle up, remain at the car until the car, where can you roll your window down? He ask you whatever they get you papers. And when you get you paper, you they remain at the car until you go now in car and run all the security checks on you. You they remain there. You know they argue the police. You know they need to the police. So if we respect the police, again they can talk. I want shift the burden on we where they oversee now, where they see the right thing, where they already appeal to we that I said no extrapolate the good things the way they happen now. No, so now no forget. This party. No. We cannot spend inordinate amounts of time on party. Let also be it about the country. Invest in the country, and the way we invest in the country, we begin to say good things that we use the way they come up. Sponsoring in anything, we cannot allow. So everything that politics, everything that party business, everything that election. No, we cannot. Waiting all they use the Salone free turn they do they. We get able land say they call and nobody know they go apply for. Then they complain, oh, we hungry, eat study. How is the food coming? The man I know they come up from heaven come for them now. Yeah. No, you got for till the soil. These are the things that the politicians they let them pop money away they thief. They don't ever now oversee. Okay, I don't thief someone. No, go apply now. No, go make farm. No, go do this. No, go to invest, but nobody's investing. So, the one that this will not meet the country's youth.
Thank you very much, because we know civil sector responsibility, and to be frank, we in the diaspora, we have in our social media, we know now we they cause more insight in our country. Now we they send more of the bad news for the picking there. Now we young one, and now we they send all the wrong informations, and then some of we not even know the repercussions of information they put on social media. Even a couple of days ago, it's a guy, a Cameroonian guy, come on social media, test and say how shameful for we they go take a photo where the incident happened inside in country when they touch one of the young family and we send a Salone. Well, we all know it's not to Salone, and we take for Paul young country, and you don't go Salone and say how beautiful Salone is. So if the guy come on social media and say it's shameful for let we they continue for do that for destroy we country and destroy itself. So I think but again, when you talk about the police, now a two-way street. The police in America, the reason why we respect them because they respect themselves in the first place. Exactly. Police not in the streets, they go big 5,000 or 10,000 or shake me on. America police not there shake me on. So again, for let the policeman get that respect from the youth, then they get for come up and demonstrate some discipline and respect as well. Oh, yes. So again, we get for continue for talk about the institutions and continue for put pressure on institutions then for make sure say then do some reform and make sure say give the police that dignity we deserve so that they use themselves. I mean the citizens go give them the respect to the need. That take we next to the next topic we can't go to because we know say most of this still happen. So waiting people then come up and prompt the president for say something. Finally today, you want to say something?
Yes. So before we move on to the next topic, I just want to say you touch on a little bit the duties and responsibility of the police. Listen, the police, like where you say, the need for put in place structures and policies then where a policeman go feel dignified about a work, where a policeman not go they go threaten a treat, they go say, hey, you know, I want cold water, the sun hot. Where a policeman not go hang by your motor car where they drive because they want pull 110 or 20,000 at your hand because of a violation where you not do, but spend that entire day they nothing not cross and you know for say the salary where it will receive, you not even do for paying rent. So it don't get used to the system of side pay, you know, under the table pay, side, you know, they don't build a completely different structure of remuneration. So waiting go fix that. Then they go be fixed when we align with policies, then we adjust, you know, we make sure say we remunerate, we policeman them properly accordingly, but also to the policeman themselves, the need for exercise sound judgment, the need for exercise restraint and discipline, the need for exercise critical judgment. Waiting we don't see recently in a police force way so waju for open gun and shoot. What happened to plastic bullet? What happened to tear gas? What happened to the word stand back? Stand back. What happened to making a barricade? What happened to all of those? Because that they all are part of my trainings then. What happened to all of that? Why make when I arrive in a situation instead of finding ways using sound judgment and critical judgment and tactics for de-escalate situation, why make una inject una self immediately into an already tumultuous situation and escalate it further? So please, going back to your, you know, your rules, going back to your training, sound judgment, critical judgment, composure, calm, de-escalation, not to the firing of a gun, not to in the quell situation. You need for come into a situation with tactical, critical engagement and de-escalation methods. Now that they may be one day.
Thank you very much. Again, this not ongoing thing where we go for the do to time we get for come and continue. I know sometimes the police and the beat on now, but if we're not facing with the beat on now, not just watch with the civilian and they go through. But again, this now a two-way street. Now we people them way we know safe or they do the right thing, we can't go better. The 80% of the Salone problem they come to the law system. If the law system don't fix, 80% of problem in Salone they fix. Because from corruption to everything else, they go past through the law. So the law is something is very, very important. I make with a bit on every day because we know say if we're not strong, come from the law, from the courts to the police to everything else, but coaching go fix na Salone and Salone go move forward faster. Because today they talk about investments, plenty people they can't invest because of the situation they will see so. We don't go bond people and also that would money don't work for in your life, you go put a hand up, we don't say go for bond the place down. No. At the end of the day, all of the youth say they suffer because job not there. And then government not get job. Government not get job. Now private sectors then get the job. So we get for a lot of private sectors income, but for me then come security get for day. And we don't say if people are for vex, they don't go bomb people in property. So we all get a responsibility. We go do our own. So now I will ask the technical team, let them play the president in speech where he get today. Then we'll come and analyze the speech, and then we'll go up on the phone line so that people will get their own take about the speech as well. Thank you very much.
Fellow citizens, I want to call on all Sierra Leoneans to celebrate the ties that bind us as a nation and not the angers that blind us. We convened a national convention that agreed to constitute a permanent commission for peace and national cohesion that will identify and address all triggers of conflict in our nation. Over and over again, I've asked every Sierra Leonean to contribute to building inclusive and resilient national institutions, to consolidate our democracy, and to build a peaceful Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leone Association of Journalists has acknowledged that they practice journalism freely, and we are working with them to repeal obnoxious laws and further enhance professional development in journalism. Civil society organizations speak up freely and hold government accountable, and we are grateful that they are playing their part as citizens. Organized labor organizations, professional organizations, religious bodies, paramount chiefs, community stakeholders, the private sector, all continue to contribute positively to our peaceful coexistence as a nation. The international community in Sierra Leone continues to engage with government and Sierra Leoneans in general in fostering peace and supporting development. In this holy month of Ramadan, Sierra Leoneans, irrespective of ethnicity and political party, buy and sell on the same markets, live peacefully on the same communities, and break fast and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala together and in peace. Presently, Sierra Leone is contending with COVID-19 that has already killed over 200,000 people worldwide, including Sierra Leoneans at home and abroad. We will remember them and their families. We will also continue praying for our compatriots and their families who are currently battling with this highly infectious and deadly disease. I thank and urge all my fellow Sierra Leoneans to continue complying with all hygiene and public health directives as we work hand in hand to rid this country of the coronavirus. I also call for solidarity and cooperation from all well-meaning Sierra Leoneans across this great nation to join us in informing and mobilizing our communities to prevent, curtail, and protect against COVID-19. It is at times like this, in our country's greatest need, in our country's greatest hour of need, that we should all voluntarily stand up for our shared values, our common destiny, and the only place we call home. When Ebola ravaged our nation, I did not wait for an invitation or a telephone call to lead my party's social mobilization fight against Ebola. I traveled to every part of this country that was accessible to me and delivered a message that was in consonance with the government's strategy and objective in fighting Ebola. That is what serving the national interest is, not waiting to be begged pleasantly to serve your country and putting your country's interest always above all else. As president, I've reached out to all Sierra Leoneans to work together to make this country a peaceful place for all of us. I dispatched the Honorable Vice President to former President Ernest Bai Koroma to initiate dialogue on fostering peace and resolving the acrimony of division. I follow that with a personal invitation of the entire leadership of All People's Congress Party to State House, including the former President, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, to discuss the way forward for peaceful and unified Sierra Leone. In the post-meeting Memorandum of Understanding, we resolved on working urgently on building a united and cohesive Sierra Leone, free of patronage, threats, hate, virulent partisanship, and corruption. But within those 2 years, there has been an unrelenting barrage of attacks against the state officials, public and private persons, and properties. This harkens back to a public threat issued by the losing presidential candidate that the All People's Congress Party will make the country ungovernable. One would therefore expect that the leadership of the All People's Congress will, like the leadership of other political parties in Sierra Leone, would have publicly and staunchly condemned, as well as dissociated the party from any person or groups of persons who incite hate, associate with, and support violence, or participate in violence against the state. They have not. Instead, the leadership has made public statements that have heightened tensions. Evidence emerging from investigations have named non-local leaders and members of the APC as being responsible for inciting, planning, financing, mobilizing, and in some cases actively participating in violent terrorist attacks against the people of this country. The silence of the national APC leadership on the activities, participation of their membership and executive members in these acts of terrorist violence, senseless loss of lives, injuries, and wanton destruction of public and personal property is truly disconcerting. And let us be very clear, citizens. The actions of these persons are not peaceful political expressions, as one expects in a democracy. Their actions are carefully planned, coordinated, well orchestrated and executed acts of violent terrorism targeting the state, state officials, public buildings, and private persons and property. Like terrorists elsewhere, they even record their acts with telephone cameras, run self-valorizing commentaries on their acts of extreme violence and killing, and share those synchronously in WhatsApp forums. For each of the attacks at Longsa, Feredugu, Tombo, and the prisons breakout at the Pademba Road Correctional Center, known agents and associates of the All People's Congress Party have publicly predicted the precise date, target, and nature of the attacks. There is an obvious pattern. These attacks are therefore premeditated, orchestrated, and executed with a clear objective to make the state ungovernable. Persons who have been arrested are not being held because of their political beliefs or their professional work as journalists. Beating a journalist to death, persistently inciting people to violence against the state, and unauthorized carrying of loaded firearms, burning down homes and vehicles of chiefs, burning down hospitals and community health centers, burning down police stations, destroying telecommunications installations, burning down large parts of prisons, violently killing persons with machetes and iron bars are all criminal offenses. What each and all of them have done are not peaceful political expressions. They are either being held on criminal charges or being investigated for criminal violence and terrorism-related offenses. Incitement to extreme criminal violence, arson, murder, and attempted murder, other felonious acts targeting the state, state officials, public officials, private citizens, and public and private persons are not peaceful political actions meant to foster peace in Sierra Leone. The right to free speech is guaranteed in our democracy and in our constitution. But no democracy guarantees a right of speech that incites criminal violence, foments hate and divisiveness, causes public disorder, and threatens the security and stability of the state. I'm certain that our international partners agree with us that prosperity and development are possible only when there is peace and stability. Countries that have prospered have always ensured, first, that peace and security are maintained. Our international partners, as moral guarantors of our peace, should therefore single out and wholeheartedly condemn persons and organizations associated with these acts of extreme violence against the state. In peaceful democracies, citizens strive for the common good, peacefully cohabit with other citizens, and advocate for and protect their rights through peaceful norms and practices. Our enforcement agencies and the justice sector will ensure that every citizen's right to due process is respected and justice is dispensed speedily and without hindrance, fear, or favor. The rule of law is supreme. No citizen, absolutely no citizen, is above the law. My government has been closely following events of the last few weeks. The security sector has closely analyzed the prime movers, financiers, causes, nature, and patterns of violent acts. Our responses are therefore well informed. As Commander-in-Chief, I have ordered the intelligence and security forces to use all available resources and take all necessary measures within the laws of this country to deal promptly and decisively and robustly with all acts of violence against the state. Anybody who incites, plans, supports, undertakes, or is involved in any manner of violence in this country will be dealt with harshly. We will use all instruments of state power and resources permissible under the laws of this country to deal firmly and decisively with these violent terrorist attacks against the state of Sierra Leone. I've also ordered urgent reforms within the security forces. The objective is to make their leadership more decisive, more effective in crime prevention and deterrence, and to maintain peace and stability in the face of extreme acts of terrorist violence against the state. I've called for more citizens' engagement so that communities are more intimately involved in preventing crime and the causes of crime. I want to personally encourage civil society organizations to expand their scope of work to capture these dynamics in their daily work with communities. I've also ordered urgent reforms within the correctional system to provide for safe and secure custody in line with international best practices, while developing a reintegration component focused on skills training and entrepreneurship. I am aware that the courts are closed because of COVID-19, but given the prevailing circumstances, I will appeal to the Chief Justice to consider appropriate measures to adjudicate the cases that emerge from this widespread insecurity. Equally, given the destruction to Pademba Road Correctional Center and the burning down of police stations in parts of the country, in addition to overcrowding in the correctional centers and the police cells, there is a need to think about decentralizing court hearings. In conclusion, let me restate, any act of violence will be dealt within the broad spectrum of the law. Citizens have an obligation to obey law and order. Those who think that by fomenting trouble and inciting violence in this country, they can derail and distract government from fighting corruption, attracting investors, and meeting its promise to deliver development to this nation, know now that you will lose this fight. My government will hit hard, and it will continue to hit even harder until this fight is won. Because this is a fight for the unity, stability, development, and the future of the only place we all call home. It is a fight that we must fight, and it is a fight that we must win. I thank you, and God bless Sierra Leone.
All right, thank you very much. And also we get plenty of people in the phone lines right now. They were total good. I will try for going at 5 minutes, strictly 5 minute do because we know so we don't let when I give you a full synopsis of this speech. 5 minutes each, then I will go to the phone lines immediately. Me wait from every time we get first, I wait till the closing, then you will come in. So I'll go over to you, Miss Matilda. Waiting at your full take about the president's entire speech.
You know, I really want to give people the time for make them call in and make them give them views and opinion. So therefore, I don't even want to take 5 minutes. I want to take just a few minutes. So basically waiting. You know, recently I read a comment that says this is the most poisonous thing I've ever seen, and I think I may allow me to say this is one of the most poisonous speeches I've heard in a long time, coming from a head of a republic. Not because of him being the head of the republic, but because of the times that we are in. We are in unprecedented times. We are in uncertain times. I am not saying a president should not be assertive. Don't get me wrong. There is assertive. There is time. There comes a time when you have to be assertive. But even in that assertiveness, you have to show prudence. You have to show prudence in judgment. And I do not think for 1 second that at the latter end of the president's speech, please get me well and get me well when I say this. I not say the beginning of his speech, but I say towards the mid and latter end of the president's speech, I don't know that prudence, I don't know that good judgment, I don't know that sound thinking was exercised in some of the utterances them at this present stage of the game. One advice I have for the president, please, next time when somebody write your speech, and I know say people and they write your speech for you, you get speech writers them, you get paddy them, we're really good at speech writing where they write your speech them for you. Please, next time when somebody write your speech for you, before you come out in the air and read that speech there, please take a couple of minutes, reread waiting then don't write for you. Not just come and read waiting then don't write for you. Please take a couple. This is very crucial. I no need for say I'm gonna all watch the video and I can tell when somebody don't read a speech, even though written for that person, and when it is coming out of the mouth and soul of the person, than when somebody they speak from the voice of another head. So please, I beg you, Mr. President, as a young woman sitting here, as I watch that video, I cannot help but cringe. I not say you not forget speech writers them, and the words of the speech writers they not for be filtered through your speech. But please allow yourself to ingest and digest and imbibe some of the words them what you they say. In this speech, you called out, you know, that you not go beg somebody for can help you in the midst of turbulence. But when that same person they stand up for come and help, there is a saying that he wants to come take over. He wants to rain on your parade. He wants to put sansana you gari. So please, yes, the onus is upon you for stretch a friendly hand, a hand of friendship, and call upon that person, and that person they say, I need you right now. This is not about you sitting down, and if you come, it will not be seen as you raining on my parade. It will not be seen as you trying to put sansan in my gari. It is not about you begging. It is not about you being submissive to that person. It is not about you not saying we are not equal, but sometimes we have to act with measured judgment. Now, I say I not go take 5 minutes, and I really they talk quick for me. I not take the 5 minutes.
If you not take, if you take an outing, go happen.
Statement of violence. You know, a president cannot afford to call its citizens terrorists. A president cannot afford to call its citizens terrorists. Yes, there may be some rogue people among us, but to blanket slate the use of terrorism of its citizen, that in itself is divisive. That in itself does not sit well. You are calling for a peaceful, resumption to peace, for cooler heads to prevail. But there are certain words that you cannot afford to use in this particular time that we are in. You know, you say they're not jail people, they're not because of their political party, not because of their duties, but what the public is perceiving, what the public is seeing, is that there is a hunt against people of a particular political party, and also aligning or whatever, exercising their free judgment or free speech. You already don't say now the opposition. Listen, let us be careful. We are in the middle of an investigation, but for a president for come and a lot blame on the opposition for say they are the cause of the burning down of prisons. Are you kidding me? Are you being the judge, the juror, and whatever here right now, Mr. President? You say you go allow the process for take place. Allow the process for take place and not interject yourself. But guess what you have just done? In that single minute, you have just interjected yourself and you have just given a verdict. I go left and so make me the continue, I go come back.
All right, Mr. Kutubula, I'll come over to you. What's in your own take about the president's speech? I'll try to give 5 minutes. We can also get plenty callers. Okay, you get the people on your own side back as well. Make them tell you what's in and say feel about the speech here. So me go try for just sit back and listen. So over to you, sir.
Open the lines.
Okay. Well, look, I see you're not gonna answer for say. All right, let me get the callers. Let me get the first caller in, please. Good evening, caller. What name outside the call from, please?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, have fun. Enjoy.
Good evening, caller. What name outside the call from? Good evening, caller. What name outside the call from, please?
Yes. Good evening. This is Nabendu. I call from Kansas City.
To be in the ID what are you take on the president's speech tonight?
Professor Miss Matilda. By the way, I want correct professor. Now, professor, but I want correct and quick. We'll not get 5 Leon cookery anymore in a salon. We talk in thousands. The cheapest cookery I don't see now 5,000 per plate. So I just want to make me professor know that. But anyway, I want for lay and make we president understand say as I in speech, but the whole world not going for come out and beg and for it talk to we as well as much as we it a call on we they will come together. We self get the right for we call upon them anytime when if the incidents they happen, it get for come out and talk to we. That now one. 2, APC and SLPP, I hate for even call them two party then they. I no go look in the lens of me. They look in the lens of independent candidates. They also not the same. Don't do things them the same. And when not make and right, the people the way they come out and defend what the APC be don't do, what the SLPP them don't do. Maybe then step now they go back and look into the history. But they're also not the same. We they pray God where President Biobin they come, we feel say they come with change. Let it change things around. Now, the other point we want to make, President Bio not go fix that country day if you're not able to engage the youth them, because they make a very big size per population. It get for change things around for them. It get for educate them. It get for sensitize them. As much as what they talk to the police, then they use force, and they this, then they that. The police then step, to be honest with you, they don't know any better. They need training. then they self need the same thing where the youth they need. Another thing where I want to touch on quick, before me 3 minutes done. Now the fact say, we they talk about all propaganda, this, that, all. If President Bio they talk to the people them, that vacuum they not go there for let anybody can't say what's in get for say let it hold water. I not believe say I not go call that man in name because I know one get that stage day. I not look like somebody where even forget voice for shake people in a salon. But the fact say President Bio they come out and talk, it don't give that man a chance for let his voice be heard. But what me go say, sadly enough, the politicians are also not part of the problem. Let we ignore them and let we make them believe say we not get any way right now. Now that make them day outside and day. But for believe say most of them people and the way they make up that parliament day, now the diaspora then come out, then they behave and act that way they is sad enough. But may appeal to every Sierra Leonean, including myself, let we make Salone because it will benefit we all. Thank you, and I appreciate your time and effort.
Thank you very much, Auntie Beno. God bless you for your time. Let me get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What's the name outside the call from, please? Caller, what's the name outside the call from?
Hello?
Yeah, what's the name outside the call from, please?
Ladol, the call.
Sure.
This is Naku, the call from New York.
Yeah, Mr. Kurumbo, so what are you going to take about the president's speech tonight?
Well, I don't actually want to talk about the president's speech. I just want to talk about the youth, Tombo, and also the responsibility of the government.
Sure.
What I want to say, the government, in the sense, lack responsibility for coordinate well and manage the people and leadership in that country. For example, and you know, come on, it's like three days lockdown or 14 days plus 3 days, then you expect where people they don't expect say, okay, Mr. La go direct back. Sometimes I don't know waiting the president or the government go decide 2 days back. It has something for lock this country or waiting. Then you go now WAF, then go tell you say out of 1,000 or 2,000, they say now 20 or 50 boats there for go now see. You know, then people get people there for feed. Then get the young picking them for feed. Then get for parents. We don't blame the youth, but most of them see the first reaction as resistance for resist that particular action. But until we own policeman then back way, then they ask questions. This is the problem. The professionalism when they compare police in America with police in Salone, quite different. Quite. Because police in America, we ask them, they go arrest this. You instructor and say go arrest this. Not even the mayor or even the president, the instructors, they go arrest this. No. And you they call them, you tell them the situation that you place. From there, if not follow them come, then come. If not follow them invite the post, they invite her. Whilst the police, then they even ask questions. It's now what's happen? Who's got decision this? Just imagine we get past 5,000 Okada and transport system and keke na free-turn. Out of these 3 days, all where people and all eat. You, me and una know say Salone come up for some people and they come up for the day. Now they eat. Now picking they eat the next day. Now they get lunch. Just imagine you gonna you wake in the morning. Sometimes for let you take it transportation. Would any government policy come on no more? Go team up in the street say no, na 100 motor no more for commodity for the day. Una ration na how una want. I wanna feel say the reaction then go take place. The reaction is not go good. You see, because the number of people that we depend on them, they're plenty. And they also get for try for fill their stomach. We don't see this blame game now. This government get for stop for call the party that say now they were the responsible. During APC, we see a whole demonstration at Kono, die commodity. Kabbalah it happen, die commodity. Free-turn it happen, die commodity. But they don't have for blame the government per se. They try to put responsibilities in place. But they just they don't they blame like say who's Tombo now what's the action? Tell them lesson now first. I will call back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kumo. I'll get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What's the name outside the call from, please?
Yeah, my name is Moina from California.
Hey, Mr. Moina, what are you taking on the entire show tonight?
Yeah, I do apologize. Me Creole no good though.
But that's fine. That's fine. We only try. Go ahead, no more.
Yeah. These are the ask one of the guests, Mr. Kutubu. I want to ask Mr. Kutubu or Professor Kutubu, which country where you don't see where everybody in that country they are educated? This thing here, it don't bother me, it don't bug me too much. Wait, me I tell you one thing. Me don't take upon this is people then don't believe for say people then where they in that country where they not educate. Now the root cause of what they go on in that country. Me they talk say na lie. I don't take it that way at all. I tell you. People then we don't educate the so-called educated group. Where would they outside? Where would they in that country? Now we don't wear that country. Now we not hide behind we finger and blame on them and the way they not go school. If not that not the education way people they mean. They want them where they in that country, the way they not go school at all. If Western education is the standard, where people then they talk say they are not go, it's education. Let's forget about this thing. Okay? Now we come back to where we don't educate, so-called the educated group. Me, we are sitting there, Padena, California. I go take telephone, call me young people there. Naturally, I say this election where don't come, we not go vote. They don't go. We dey outside where we don't. Now then people then where they not go school, the uneducated people. Now then they bail money out of that country. Now the educated people. Everybody where they depend that commission of inquiry, they are all educated people. Now then they take money out of that country. The people then they left here and are poor. Right? And poverty equal to anger. Poverty and hunger equal to anger. Now the result will see so. Then don't bail money, educated people, so-called educated people, then don't bail money out of that country. The people then don't live then they are on the street. This program where then they call talk to the camera, where they can at the watcher. I don't see them take camera. News people go to the market then they ask. Some boys then where they sit down inside that market, they then don't go reach from 5. So which education then they blame other? Which education? Where we don't educate in that country, we tell me one person. Tell me, name is Akutubu, tell me one person. Where he did in that cabinet day or previous cabinet, where he not travel out of that country. Some of them on government scholarship. And then they bail money out of the country, then left the people with people poor. And where them poor now, we they outside with the pump them. Do this. Would they give them money for go buy jamba? They not get food in their stomach. How they not go hungry? How they not go take poor decisions for destroy things? I mean, I'm not favoring, destruction. But let us come to the root cause. It is where we don't educate, we don't come on other country. And most of us, on government money.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moina.
I think we should.
Monina, let me get to the next one because we know we get plenty people on the line. So let me get to the next caller, please.
2 minutes.
Yeah, let's get it. Good evening, caller. What name outside the call from, please?
Hello?
Yeah, what name outside the call from?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, today I had to go as concerned citizen, because I had a call from Virginia, though,
Okay. Go ahead.
The internet don't be polarized now, so even if you get constructive criticism, you have to be careful. All right. So, I believe say I'm 100% they go with this last wise man we call from California. You know, 100% they go there. And I also want to say, not to today youth they start violence. The youth system in Sierra Leone don't be polarized, even their own time. You know, even their own time. So this is just of what you know as the 70 breed na English is right now, you know, because remember no more we are young, so we with the where government they take youth them like the likes of highway or whatever they names them, you know. And what I want to tell you, CEO, want to tell you, I say before this corona, one part you program, I said before this corona, I said the problem at Sierra Leone, I say it's just like an pandemic. Sorry, a pandemic will not get medicine, you know. Not so the situation, the problem at Sierra Leone. Like right now, I mean, this pandemic, this corona right now, we will not get aid until on medication. So not so the problem at Sierra Leone, I say it's you not ever get a way forward, you know. From how long people they talk about the problem till today, you know, we're not there for solver, you know. I want to go to say again, justice, if I work for everybody, you know, this is not one significant problem in that country today. If the justice they work for just a certain set of people, you got youths where they work with I know they pinpoint the present administration. But previous one and now, you got youths there where they work around them, where they do all kind of bad things, where they get safe haven, you know. They even chair say, oh man, nah, this guy na SPP man, APC man, they do anything they feel for do. And we don't see her, you know. If why them particular people and they get safe haven, they would blame the ordinary street where they cause whatever problem, you know. So if the justice they work, if I work for everyone, you know, if I work for everyone. So like what the last caller did the talk, you know, the educated people they always they get an excuse say the people that will not educate, not the problem. No, they understand. No, they this, no, they that, you know. But if all the educated people that not lay the foundation, you know, see you all look, we you know also we day, also we God make law we able come like today, you know. All these peace up to now they face challenges them. You get youth they still hold to go on rampage. But it's just the government they will take care of that, you know, that they will take care of that. You know, but the forefathers them they don't let the foundation, you know, for let peace day and for let them take care of situation. So whatever after thing the way they happen, then they will take care of that, you know.
All right.
So
thank you very much. Yeah, I know say your time. You have plenty of people on the line. Lord, get a blessing chance. Thank you very much for that call there. Let me get the next caller in. Good evening, caller. What's your name? Outside the call from, please. Yeah, caller, you on the line? What's your name? Outside the call from? Caller, you hear me?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, what name you say the call from, please?
Good evening, and how wanna they do?
You know, sir.
Okay, first of all, I tell Mr. Kutubu thank you. Yes. I call from New York, a concerned citizen.
All right, now for turn your device don't smart, the echo and make it diffuse so they talk to us.
Then wanna give me a few moments, you know, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I call from New York, a concerned citizen.
Yeah, go ahead now.
You good now?
Yeah, you good now. Go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, I go tell Miss Maltida thank you for in view again. It make me day, and it been there right on the point. Mr. Kutubu yourself, I tell you thank you because now at the CEO they become neutral now. You understand me? So, like the speech where we listen, the president been start good. We invite the opposition and all the other political parties, them let them all come together and let them find solution. But I don't know what I craft that speech there. In between the speech, in the middle, somebody where you don't invite, for let you come, let them all make peace, let them talk to people, let them calm down. Then you begin to accuse that person they back again, say, now in the make the trouble. So I don't know how you want for that person they fit within the problem where you they call them for, where you don't already they accuse them. So that's now one side and the second side where I want for talk again, where you say they may not already get information about the people where they bring problems Canada country there. Okay, you as a government, you get all the institutions under you. You get the CIDs. You get the Justice Department. Everybody there under you. Then why you not go beef up security before that problem they come? So you shouldn't wait till that problem they come. Then from there you begin to go out for the people then. So I don't know how that play. And the police them, they don't know their own responsibility. And nearly 80% of Sierra Leoneans and they don't know their own responsibility. The government don't know their own responsibility to their own citizens them, and the citizens themselves, they don't know their own responsibility towards the government. Because all we institutions then all lack. The policeman where they go arrest you. They don't know what to make it to go arrest you for. Then Kiebo bribe them $20, 20,000, 50,000. It'll go arrest you, then put you in a jail for more than 2, 3, 4 days. They not even charge you, then left you. And like right now, the people that now where they don't arrest now, where they long where they in a jail. Some people in they not there forget no court date for now. So they go there under the mercy of the government, which is really is sorrowful. As Miss Maltida been to talk about the youth them. The youth them, you know, when they demonstrate, when I for think twice. Because
but therefore call we back. You need to come up. And we get more than 20-something people on the line, so lots of other people. I mean, sorry about that. I'm not seeing the time for touch another one, but
no problem. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Let me get to the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name outside the call from, please? Good evening, caller. What name outside the call from?
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. What name outside the call from, sir?
Good evening. This is Abdullah the call from New Jersey. Good evening,
Mr. Abdullah. What are you on this issue tonight, sir?
Yeah, I want to just start from the president's speech. Like somebody said, the president talked a lot of good things at the beginning and part of the middle body of the speech, and towards the end of the second segment, and of course to the end of it, a lot of small mess up there. But again, me personally, the role are responsible. It might be something coming from my heart as it be expressed, but the whole people around are responsible for even, first of all, write something like that one a day. And also the president should have the ability for vet within a right one and get the power for saying, no, within this portion, I know this say in public. But this I will say. So now it boils down to the whole fact. Say, yes, when you be a leader, people that around you make a mistake, you go with that mistake and you get the responsibility at the end of the day. The second point I want to say, the point where I meet up, where I think I want to ask the panelists and for make statements, Professor Kutubu, a gentleman where I like, although I get a lot where I disagree with him, he refused to let them open the line. I mean, that will go well with me. This is my personal opinion. When I did it as panelists, at least people that don't share, they don't bind it for hours, get something for say. I don't know if you wait for listening to most of the nonsense what they say before you come in again. That's my opinion. The other thing Professor Kutubu say about somebody in a whole, they blame the community in Holland. I think if I understand, and the Sierra Leonean community, they refer to about their failure for even criticize this person when they call Adebayo. They already feel some unrest in the country in different ways. That is true. accept anybody wey dey do bad around. Una wey dey around them, if una no tell them say what you do say wrong, una all wrong. Una all guilty equally as that person, whether na inside Sierra Leone, na Holland, na the US, or wherever. That is very true. But this is a practice where they happen. I mean, compare past, because most of the time, most of you on this line, you see people make unfortunate statements against the panelists, against other speakers. If you don't get something for present, please shut up. Not make somebody begin time, again idea, all the thing I respond, this person IPC, this person Alaki. And they watch all that follow me, cause people them mad. Why you really spend that time to cause person or attack somebody? Give you reason why you feel say now your opinion about that person. What's now your opinion about that person? So if equally people in sit around Adebayo, they know the talent, so what they do wrong. Now so authorities in Sierra Leone, where they sit around and see other bad people they do wrong things, then they come out and say them, this is equally guilty. I commend the president for one thing, if not to anything at the speech, for the fact they come out and make public statements. Because this is no longer awaited something. We mean I want to hold any leader responsible for come out and say something. The other thing I want to ask, which is the role of the Strategic Communication Unit, Ministry of Information and Communication, for in terms of countering somebody? Because if somebody they lie by you, only say this person they lie by me, they lie by me. If you know study lie at all, but get through for talk about the lie that person they tell you, you able to convince the other people.
Let me set up the rules now. Allow the next caller to come in.
I will call back. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. I'll get the next caller in. Good evening, caller. What name who said the call from, please?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Muhammad and Ms. Matilda and Mr. Kutubu. This is Piers, they call from Lokomasama.
Yeah, Mr. Piers, what are you take on the show tonight, sir?
Okay, today I get three things for now.
Yes, sir.
Economy, the police, and the Tumbo incident. They make a short. The cause of everything is the economy. That's one. The government will pay the police. For me, them be police like the police in where the police people are at the wall. They tell you this. And the number of police, I give you one small example. I know Tumbo na a slum, we consist nearly up to 6,000 or 8,000 people. The police and we did it, they not tell. Their police are not able to police in people there. And they tell you now, definitely. And if you look the statistics now, police in Sierra Leone, each one police in Sierra Leone get like 300 to 400 people for policing if you look the number and the population. And then people there, they are not well paid. They are underpaid. Then people there, they're not armed. You expect them to say, when problem come, then just go protect their life. Mr. Mohammed, Mr. Kutubu, and Ms. Matilda, if you did not Tumbo police station, you all gone. You see 100 youth, they come inside that police station. Straight to me, God, they take gun and shoot because you get to protect your life. Can you imagine them people there? Somebody when an illiterate person inside illiterate people there, if they become a fire, just take petrol pump and have petrol. But with all this, the economy, how much can they pay police? Why police not go check money like that? When they talk about police, usually what police and Sierra Leone, they think like every police get power. No, few police are armed. All the rest are not armed. They're not able to do nothing. They're not able to stabilize things. The barricade one, Ms. Martina, they talk about, they're not able because you can't put a barricade for block 500 people and 103 police and no more for put a barricade. We're not able to use water for stop them. You know, the population high, then the police is too small. You know, I kind of look at and say, to me, your opinion, the economy did damage everything because they're able to pay them police, they're able to get capable police. As I be somebody when a palm wine tapper, we sell gimme for you. He become a police in few days because in brother Naina be the head of the OSP. This guy no go school, I go share with God. Afraid. And they tell you that something. But everybody just jump up and police. The same boy already cause them problem. How they go broke police station, bomb hospital. Then same boy if he hired and right now for be police and they take, then self not get. You know, the whole situation, the economy gets something for do. I they tell you, everybody they talk against police, but they tell you now to me side, the police enable policing the people then. And they tell you, now me take this business. And I'm glad for now the way I moderate the program and I continue for support now all the time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But just for be fair to Ms. Matilda, I think say talk about that, say, may they increase the pay of the police, say, make them get a better living wage, living experiences, so that will help them out and get that dignity and respect. So thank you again for what you said on both. It's the same thing. Let me get to the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name you say the call from, please?
Yeah, my name is Abdullah Kalo. I call from Washington, D.C.
Yeah, Mr. Kalo, go ahead. What are you want to take on the program tonight, sir?
I did try for response to Miss Matilda Cole after when I don't replay the president's speech. I want after this show make Miss Matilda Cole go sit down, make you watch this program again. The way he responds to the president's speech with so much hatredness. It emphasize on like how somebody write a speech for the man. Yes, somebody write a speech for the man. Well, I'll make you know say this, the president now somebody who is very educated and know what he do. And secondly, Ms. Matilda Cole they try to talk say the president don't already judge the opposition. He's in an APC. I want to make you listen to what the president say. The president say, according to the investigation, they don't got a lot of proof. Say APC, most of APC members then be involved. And I'll make you know say the president now head of all the government department now Salone. So meaning he know what thing they go on. Everything they go on, but Salone we come by government, he know, they don't tell her. And even that picture frame, the former president in picture frame when they pull now since they are blinded in place. There was something the way hide inside the way them pull. When I like something like memory cards, some stuff that we did inside that picture frame. It was not even an ordinary picture frame. Something in the day. And they even get some stuff there inside there where there was a communication between Abdul Fonti and Sylvia Blyden. There was a lot of stuff hiding in that woman place. So the president not been stupid, not been fool for can talk say na APC. Now because of documents and text messages and video then we then get from that place. Now based on that make the president talk say now most my APC members then. Then secondly, the president said something because Ms. Matilda Cole talk say this are the most poisonous speech we don't ever hear. Samuel Kamara talk openly say if you not win, it will make the country ungovernable. He talk I get the video. He talk openly. And where are they by the inside people and say for go burn places then? I'm not saying Ms. Matilda Cole can't talk say these are the most dangerous thing I don't ever hear. But the president's speech today, it don't become the most poisonous stuff when you don't ever hear. It make Kutubu Kruma not able to give the 5 minutes where you give both of them for talk. It make Kutubu Kruma, if you watch Kutubu Kruma in reaction, now that's not the reason make Kutubu Kruma able to say anything we just steady say, make it open the phone line. It no matter what the president do, Miss Matilda Cole will ever let Manda Bio based on because Manda Bio is na partner, Manda Bio overthrow Strasser. So it gets the president and had so much for that. It gets so much heavy stuff against that man. Yeah, he laugh, but I tell you. So it does not matter what the president do. He hates the president so much. You see how they emphasize how they write the speech. Yes, then therefore write up when somebody that what he learn, what he educated, what he learn, he know what he say. Everything we say under now because he don't see the proof. He don't see evidence. He not just talking because he talking. He don't see proof. He don't get evidence. Last about 2 or 3 days ago, I've been post something at Facebook before I talk say then get some stuff then from Sylvia Blyden where.
Yeah,
because I'm not saying that reality.
I think I ought to respond to that before we take
let me get a call that will candidate up. We got plenty of time for do all that. Right and don't know more. Come later.
Forget, man.
Yeah, right and don't. But look, because we get plenty callers a lot in them. We get plenty of time for doing the show. So we respond to everybody with their all night. Look at the next caller. Good evening, caller. What anyone say the call for, please? Just right and down. Good evening, caller. What name was the call from?
Bow down at the person.
Mr. Kalon from Washington. Yeah, good evening, caller. What name was the call from, please?
I call from VA.
Okay. What name you concern, sir?
Your contribution tonight is we need to calm down really a little bit. Sometimes we kind of media, although we all know we get the same opinion, but the thing we really going to talk about Salone, we still get more to do. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to really succeed. Lawlessness day, incitement day, law and order completely that day out of it. And we don't need to condemn our security back to the country. Policing of the country really for Sierra Leone completely, they're not equipped. In fact, they're not even. It's very difficult for us, for the country. So, please, family, we need to help each other. We need to put things together. And the president speech today, really, I don't know why we can argue on to that, but seriously, we want for a reform. I don't talk today. Although the speech they always we hear it today, some managers criticize, some managers say not to so. But our opinion. But I will ask Sierra Leoneans then, what's the way forward? What we will do so this not will happen again? We said this still wrong. What's not the problem of the country where we all know we come together? Like Animal say, the love. If we really love the country, we will know what's for them. Most of these problems, they come out from back and front. They come out from overseas. They go back to Salone. They come out Salone. They carry. Brothers and sisters, this now one the country will get. Now one the country will get. You all come together. Viewers, all get room for play. Religious leaders, they all get room for play. Honorables, they all get room for play. We don't know what the same message, this message will be sent around. So bring them young money down. Most of them young, the youth say when they come up today, they don't even know what's not the war will be facing in the country. But left to we, the key thing of hand. If we not try really to talk to these young men then, we are not going to even blame the two parties then. Me, I started yesterday in your room. I just talked to most of the people already in the group. We are able to talk to them. Say, we are going for peace in the country. We are all going to play. Oh, they blame everybody. It's very difficult for us. And one country, all this. Do your family, all they go back and forth now. They listen, all which they go on. Although today we literally be small, but they are to put something away. Oh my God.
But thank you very much, my brother. We get so much call them. We could try for cutting down to 2 minutes, please, because they cause them so much. They don't tell us they cause them. They come so fast and so much. So they allow it cutting down to 2 minutes so that we give more people in, because it almost get close to the time, but we want for at least 10 or 15 minutes and see if that 2 minutes there will help more people from hear their own concerns. So there will now be patient to 3, not on the 2 minute side. All right. So from now on 2 minutes, everybody, guys. Let's get the next caller in. Good evening, caller. What's the name outside the call from, please? Because it almost get close to the time, but we want for at least 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah, caller. What's the name outside the call from?
Hello?
Yeah, what's the name outside the call from, please?
Oh, this is Abdul Cherno Ali. I will call from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Ali. You got 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, I want to tell the president plenty thank you for come out today finally and talk to the Sierra Leone people. But in speech, according to my own analysis, it creates more division in the father of the nation. I want maybe president to pay attention into certain things. I don't look at things the way they happen at Salone from the time where this Pademba break happen and other things. You see, the speech tonight reminds me, say, probably the president not for only look at the opposition, Make it also look at elements within the SLPP. We also want them to make it fail. I will give you an example. Okay, where the police then go now, Silver Blind in the house, they use an escrow in frame as evidence. I don't want to believe say that police officer is stupid, but I think they now a very deliberate attempt to make the administration look foolish. And also, even the recording where they record that prisoner, the first recording, where they record that prisoner and share that recording it to the public, I think that they all have to undermine President Bio. President Bio, if you listen tonight, please, instead of you pay attention too much to the opposition, pay attention to you young people the way you get around you. I think say some of them, no one to make you succeed at all. And that you speech tonight now is clear evidence. Say you get people where they set you up for failure. Me not to President Bio supporter, me not to APC supporter. You know, we all for support this president for make Salone win. If President Bio fail, we all they fail. But I think say certain elements then they inside the president's own party, and you know they see that if they just pay attention to the opposition. And I think if you pay attention, and President Bio, I want to remind you tonight, say when you be the set for the party leadership, you fed for too long, and you have a lot of people that won't affect together. We're not very happy the way you conduct business, who you been leading. And then people here, is it true that they want to pay you back? You get to pay attention. Waiting me see today now a president in crisis.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. Let me get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name is the call from, please? Caller, good evening. What name is the call from?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, what name is the call from?
Imran from London.
Yeah, Mr. Imran, you got 2 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, turn the volume down until the echo. Turn the volume down, sir.
London. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. 2 minutes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. Tarale, I want to thank you. Say you do a good job. Miss Mati, you are doing fantastic because you know one of the few people in what they see they show up na public forum them. You they talk with passion and you seem to be very much in tune with what you they talk about. I feel to say when you look at the president's speech, the very first thing where I want the people to know, but the fact say I don't see any humanity on the speech. I don't feel them. Because as at the talk, so even myself for the talk now, the very first thing I should have given condolence waiting to the family that we lost people. I would have expected him to have done that first. That would have made him look more human. He not do that. It should say he not get regard for the people in life. And the whole speech is about blaming the other side. I would have thought she would have sat in the middle and clearly say, now I dey watch everybody. I don't care whose persuasion you be in this country. You broke the law, whether you're SLPP, APC, or whatever, I will calm down on you. And the issue where at the area, a lot of SLPP them, they talk about, I find that really weird because I went to school and sometimes people when we go to school, they make a shame for say I go to school. Where Samura talk, I don't feel say Samura be the talk in the connotation where they try for portrayal. He just lost the election. It feels say there was foul play. And it talk for say it will cause problems. And the problems where I feel say they try for talk about, it go to court. And it go to court. They not ever call that case day. They not ever call that case day. And the issue of picking and the born places and this, that, I have been in the UK for over 30 years. I don't care which civilization you did. Where riots take place, then they vandalize things them. Now it makes governments get for put things them together for keep the youngsters them busy for me they not go into them kind of rampages then they. And if the president be the talk, if we don't
Thank you very much, sir. I know say we will hate for cut here, but I mean, because they're coming too much, they are going to be patient with me tonight. Just the 2 minutes. And I know we get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name was the call from, please? Caller, what name was the call from?
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, what name was the call from, please?
Yeah, me name Moses. I call from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Moses, go ahead. 2 minutes, sir.
Okay. So, me on point here, make I go quick since I only get 2 minutes. First of all, I still like say the president get distracted now, yeah. The politics all they see right now are politics of revenge, and this not to be President Bio in manifesto. You know, be tell you say it can revenge for waiting APC don't do for or we don't do SLPP for how many years ago. Again, I want to hit on the rhetorics then they talk about the opposition, Samura. Doing this not during the election. They all talk things then. Even President Bio himself. Videos and the way inside they talk, they preach, and not to PCB they preach. Because videos and the when they talk, they tell youth and say they're not for become. Ain't he become in other leader. All they wanted and they out. And nobody not all are responsible for that. Today, Adebayo don't get audience simply because freedom of speech not in other country. So people then they look abroad for a savior because they not get voice. When you talk, then go hold you. Now this don't give Adebayo audience. Now it is one of them because the people them inside the country not able to talk for themselves. So that's not the thing. Beyond need for focus on the manifesto where it be preached before it can have power say it will provide free education. Make him focus on delivery. We don't want revenge in this country. We want peace and we want development. So this is one of the things then. And again, they say justice delay is justice denied. We see the president, they come up now hard. They try to call the justice system for let them bring up cases them. But what about the other cases they were in our courts long ago from the opposition? Why not just in your own way they feel like they threat to your own power, now they for call. This is not the way forward for peace. This is not the way forward for peace. So the president needs to focus on the manifesto. This is my own contribution.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Now we get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name was the call from, please? Good evening, caller. What name was the call from?
Anyway, this is Nakumbo again. They call from New York.
Yeah, go ahead, Kurumbo. 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, sir. The structure in the government lacks structures in the first place. It's like the government within the government force, they're not the one that within appoint themselves, they not believe themselves. So for save time for them, then will just come out and blow out say na APC na opposition members. Because if the government will then appoint the people where they appoint them, believe them and trust them, there was no reason for them left for call the internal minister of affairs, the defense minister, the director of prisons, and the deputy, the IG, and the deputy, the AIGs there for make sure say then control the breakouts na prisons, other than then go call Sandiwe na minister of lands, then go call Salone, then Songa, we no get nothing for do with security and governance. The problem is that people actually put a line. They don't allow people where they hold party office for come inside the government. Then get for build up that gap. When you go na party office, now you will talk what you want. So you can governance na constitution you deal with. So this na the problem na in the bit within their force. They not trust themselves. So this na make we they see this they float up. Okay, in the issue of the youth again, if actually the youth not get nothing for do, just like what happen at Tombo. Now because they idle, if they be allowed there, where the 3 days done, they allow them then go and see. I don't think say all this will happen.
But just because they not hold the one the way responsible for just sit down because then a party leader there or they get position in the car and they pass all kind of other way they want. Now the way flame now they say APC. Who's APC Agbagba way they see now that somebody where they control the youth, where they shoot the youth. Who's APC actually where they see in a prisons around the prison vicinity? If not so they're so anyway.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Krum. We'll get the next call. I'll try to take about 2 or 3 more. So close because good evening, caller. What name inside the call from, please? Caller, you're on the line now. Good evening. What name inside the call from?
See in a prison around the prison vicinity. If not so they're so anyway.
Good evening, caller. You're on the line. What name inside the call from, please?
More, so because good evening, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, what name was the call from?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, what are you? What name was the call from?
Okay, this is James. They call the United States in the middle of nowhere.
All right, James, you got 2 minutes. So go ahead.
Yeah, actually, I just want to make a short contribution regarding the youth violence and the speech of the president. But I start with the violence when they go on at the country. People, and they always talk about Adebayo inciting people in the country. What about the terrorists where they get right inside the country, where then they call Arata? I don't know who's kind of mortal man than this force. Where the old cutlass, if they go and team up, if they cause, if they do this. Police, they don't want to arrest this guy for putting a tight place. Madam, they don't want to give speech against this guy. Lima don't want to talk. Instead, then they battle him, then they support him, then they guide him back. Somebody who not in the country, then they talk about him. What about the one where they inside the country, where they threaten people and then they talk about him? And Madabio was brave to talk about terrorists. Now the country. Look, I want to let people know first one thing. Say me when they talk to me, not to APC, me not to SLPP, because the two parties they're useless. Now that country they. Marabio talk about, terrorists in the country. You know, say you get terrorists inside the government themselves. The government officials themselves. There are terrorists in the government. The SLPP themselves, they are terrorists. They have terrorists among them. Because if you intimidate opponents or opposition, you incite people them inside the country, that's a terrorist also. You attack opposition, that's a terrorist. Any government forget opposition. If you don't get opposition, things not go in place. Okay? Sometimes violence is necessary na a situation like this or na a country, because the reason why I say so is they call a quick attention. We have done that. The time we'll be in Liberia, right? Peacekeeping for Sierra Leoneans. They not be they get pay. For how many months? How the government of Sierra Leone see them quick. Now when they put on violence inside Monrovia, weapons they begin to shoot around. Okay? Then call in quickly government and say no, we need to take care of them guys there. Otherwise, they are going out of situation.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. James. I'll get the next caller. Thank you very much. Next caller, good evening, caller. What the name of the call from, please?
Yeah, good evening. My name is Ben. I call from New York.
Mr. Ben, go ahead. 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, my own take is that I just say Salone a confused nation right now. And I can vividly base my evidence by when I say we sit on that studio, they say we all confused. But nobody know the way they put for a solution. And when they can add the fire, pan the hotness over the pencil right now, because I not say when I get anything when they provide, we say we go stick and say now something we learn and we all for change we attitude them. Rather, when I sit down and when I put on political, cap them, then when I claim say we are independent people them. First of all, if any citizen, America also this, so not to government they feed people them. We be get Ebola then be there. Then lock people then 2 weeks then they out indoors. Nobody no grab, no go protest it, then go lock them. They no give them food. Then be they give them food. We ordinary people then be they die like animals, then we they watch them where then they die. Nobody no come out, say they go fed government for that. Nobody no come out, go burn infrastructure for that. But look una deny so even the government is claim say they not go lock the country for 2 weeks because of they know how people then they live. People then whether they can't sit on a studio, they can't talk, say things then be done better in that country. From when we get sense. We they come up from bad to worse every government where they come. So when they can't sit down, they talk, say, oh, the government don't lose control, they not provide basic need for the people, and I mean people then for rebel against the state. Their infrastructure, then the way they don't build it, they know how they manage building infrastructure, then some of them, they not ever work in their life. They not ever get contribution within they give to that state. And people that within the work, then they pay them tax and they go build their infrastructure, then they make them take care of them. Then they go rebel against them and they destroy them. They say then they fight for politics. Because we see that so not tell me say not be no say Ebola be worse past than this. We don't see the worst more than this. But people then be sit down and quiet. That is clearly to tell we say this opposition then can destroy the nation. Not to opposition, a terrorist them. Anybody we come for they behave so a terrorist. You know, now the real definition with the president call. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Thank you very much, sir. I think say come and watch other show in Canada because nothing the information that you get. But we'll get to the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name was I call from, please? Good evening, caller. What name was I call from? Caller, good evening. What name was I call from?
Yeah, this is Sylvester.
Yes, Sylvester. Go ahead. 2 minutes, sir.
I call from Columbus, Ohio.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. 2 minutes, sir.
Waiting the Apple account is sad. So me won't take. The youth, of course, they get a responsibility to Sierra Leone. And not for just to sit down, somebody you talk and do things them. We don't say we're not get better facilities there for engage all the youths. But we Sierra Leone now, if we not think, Sierra Leone will ever develop. Whether APC, SLP, Sierra Leone, it can happen to on APC inside. This Sierra Leone now will also come together, will put participants outside development of Sierra Leone. Then again, the other part, religions, of course, religion, let help Sierra Leone. God not for can help Sierra Leone. We Sierra Leone now will come together. We think this country now one will get. Like we did at Columbus, Ohio, this kind of weather where they cold. I don't want dinner, but not get choice. Only in the country, I don't go to school in the country, I don't enforce degree, I can't do like that, I can't make people expanding. But they don't understand. So therefore educate Sierra Leone, the civil education, therefore concentrate for that for develop Sierra Leone. If you not think, Sierra Leone will always happen. So the next way APC can have power, SFP will do the same thing. So it got to be back and forth. So we got to think, come together, we should make forum, engage the youth, talk to the youth, and different communities, them, all think, pull SFP, APC business aside. Let's do things as Sierra Leonean for the betterment of that country. If you not do that, they go ever continue. This part of it. So they go to the brigade. They work day by day. So that time bomb, ticking time bomb, Sierra Leone, don't pass. So it's time for engage the youth. Well, the president don't make a statement. Some good, some bad. Yes, we go for criticize, we go for support, you understand. But all comes together. Because indeed, it began olive branch where it comes, because other America, at least this way, invite everybody, we follow the development. All of a sudden, it just cuts. We don't know how the problem comes out. So Sierra Leone, we go for come together, put Salone before. Past any other thing, you know, for like if you participate in country, if you let you participate in country, then you will develop your country. And you participate the thing about. So that I mean, take me they give. Come here, they call them, say Lima, say Arata, whatever, say Adebayo. They're not important. You have to for beginning inside people. Them no. Then we come together. Now we reject people who they are, where they talk no more. Get audio. People don't go misbehave. We for come together, engage the youth. Say hey, we have no place for go. And this country we get.
All right. So thank you very much, sir. Let me get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name is the call from, please?
Yes. This Tamara from New York.
Yeah, Mr. Kamara, go ahead. 2 minutes, sir.
Okay. I'll just make them quick. You know, any society, we get some crazy guys, you know. Like, I get me neighbor away, instead of New York, he come out, we call himself Bendo, they blame Matida, they blame the whole panel and that. So I just believe, say, you know, I don't know what's in been there, you know. And another caller called from Washington where they try for blame Matida. Like, person not get opinion, you know, so you just get to go by waiting and say concur and say yes, sir. We're not doing that country there again. Then they have been done all ancient Egyptian way of thinking. Everybody getting your own opinion. What do you they call blue? If I say it's white, it's white. You don't have nothing to do with me. We all come on that country there. The woman get right to your own opinion. Not to say they tell you say na dande na in papa na in for be. Now waiting in feel na in the gay. Waiting Kutubu feel na they talk about. Everybody entitled to your own opinion. Not all opinion are right, but you get to talk waiting in feel. That's not in your own feeling. You not get hatred for that country there. They talk on both sides. They talk about the youth destruction. For the way you destroy now your country they destroy. Talk about the government in your responsibility. What do you want to talk about again? Or let they one side no more? Like a bush cow? Well, Padida they not get for happen. No. So una deaf, una know say una the profit out of government. Now una the give them rubbish comment here so. So una go back again, una rethink una self. So the panel and they're all good. Everybody they give your opinion. You know, agree, give your own opinion. Tell them say you disagree, but not attack them. You know, not the same thing that they talk. You know, people in the way they can drag you down at that gutter there. I they look some comment and some woman, some ladies themselves. But I need to call down on them lady, now woman then. They call ladies in there. Where you not get for big, where you not get for cause and cause another person some rubbish thing them. You know. So I just feel so sad about the whole situation. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What's the name of the call from, please?
Hello, Mina Edward Marad, call from Philadelphia.
Yeah, Mr. Marad, 2 minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, quick one. So this is no party politics, okay? And waiting the president said so today, I support him 100%. So people are willing to support Adebayo or something. I want to let them understand, say, those days when Omegoli, Denaya, they talk big English, people then they cheer Bella Woman and Belen and Salone, people and they die, those days are over. Those days are over. Some of whom we did it. We lost with youth before we married, we done 40. Okay? I want to ask them who said that the world day na Salone. Where people that they call for violence in Sierra Leone. Okay? So Jaman then die trying to put this fire out. If we don't know that, that is tantamount. So if that guy then be in the military, I tell her say it's tantamount to facing firing squad. Okay? That's stupid. I'm sorry that I'm saying this. Okay? That's act of terrorism. You they burn down your government infrastructure. You they support people like that. When I forgot to say, come on, I make I say, I must see you all between 1991 to 2002. Some of you, our youth, were robbed because of this. Okay? So people for support bad. The peace and quiet important than SIPP or APC then power. Okay? And Adebayo day under they being a bitch, they cost people them out, and when they support them. Please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What's the name of the call from, please?
SIPP or APC then power. Okay?
Hello?
Good evening, caller. What's the name of the call from?
Yeah, my name is Delanda. I call from New Jersey.
Hey, Mr. Delanda, go ahead. 2 minutes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, it's bill they talk about terrorists. Waiting it will call in wife because in wife are the number one terrorist and Lima and Arata because in wife come publicly and say it will send a mob them for go beat people that if them oppose you know and then government and Lima they go threatening people then everywhere for lock them up and for beat them and if they do harm and then they rig election, and they're gonna ballot places that they beat people, and the guy just a fool, is incompetent. But when they pick somebody who don't work for 20-something years and live on the welfare, not this way they think. The guy was a killer, he will always be a killer. The SL people, they're just stupid. They don't even read themselves, they just talk. They don't even know what they talk. That's all I get for say. So, the owner even fit for cleaner floor. Because I bet if you even go to McDonald's to go look for job, he say, I don't work for 20-something years, they no go get a job. So, if a lot of people, they're that stupid just because of tribalism, then go pick somebody. Come on! Listen, that's all I get for say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name is the call from, please? Caller, good evening. What name is the call from?
Yeah, I do. This appears again from Lokomasama.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, I just want to get small addition, maybe not might be 2 minutes. I get a message for Sierra Leone people who I forget for don't deliver for a long time. I get opportunity for talk to the former RUF within a jail in Rwanda. He said, I tell Sierra Leone people and say the youth them, they not learn a lesson, nothing. This is what they tell us. So I can call on our phone, I talk to them at the prison in Rwanda. He regrets of everything which they go on so while they sit on a jail. Then fight a war for changes. There is no change coming up in that country. Then they see people in the born house, born motoka, broke prison, damaged police station. Then these are the causes where they fight for. Then they're in a jail. Then still Salone people and they do this. So he say, tell Salone people and say, they sit on a jail, but let Salone people enjoy peace. Then now Salone people and they repeat the same thing. He say, tell Salone people and say, no get opportunity for talk. Allah deliver this message to una say in the jail, they serve a 54 years jail, but he want let Salone people and learn a lesson to which he go on. Me they tell una so, la introduce myself to una, na me facilitate peace between President Kaba and General Issa Sisena Sierra Leone. This not to story of the makeup, not to campaign. This not you I do, I know I'm talking, but I don't read na the peak for that tell Sierra Leone people and say I know I made them waste with time. We will spend for love bring peace in that country. There. We spend a lot of time. We no want exposed to this, but we get for exposed. Me where they talk to now, me na Piaz Diallo, that we facilitate President Kaba for meet Issa face to face. So now the message this one I get for Salone people and from General Issa Safe from Rwanda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I hope so plenty of people will get the message and then work on that as well. Because if one development will not go bond, they have all infrastructure they will not even get investment for the bond them. With that money the way and they go for go build and go put up on something else. So we get the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name is the call from, please? Good evening, caller. What name is the call from, please? Caller, good evening. What name is the call from?
This is Lamena, the call from Tennessee, Lamena Salone. Yeah, I just tell Salone that everybody needs to calm down. We therefore blame the media. If somebody can program and start some kind of violence, you get a right for cut that person off. Tell the person the truth. Say, hey, look, keep this clean. People don't even listen to Adebayo in video. They get right for listening to her. But Adebayo sit on a Holland. And what Adebayo, whether people them people in a Freito or Tumbo, then they destroy government facilities, whether they never go to jail. That them people them do. Adebayo is down there, they enjoy. And everybody them put in a jail for 15 years. Just add, if you're not 20, then put you 15. How many is that? You therefore lose a lot. So you therefore listen to this and say, hey, if this man said, oh, do this, I'm not going to do them. So we the big, we not in diaspora there, we just get for lobby to the government for change the constitution. So we get rightful vote. We kick them out. But mommy cause, mommy that, in order to do nothing, they pay. So do that. We don't want the media, or somebody come, if they make some kind, SLP be this, APC that, challenge that person. They tell and say, what in the way forward we will do for Sierra Leone? What in your contribution? No, this blame game, you know, they pay. So when I say, when I this media, when I get for play on your own part, when I get for challenge them, call them here. When I know say now, this wall of day, somebody go take you audio, is editor. They say, I get this from this message, I get this. More than this diaspora, anything we say, get people back home and they believe, even if it's a lie, and they believe in. So the media will never play a great role. When I never talk to them people and this coronavirus, what it go on, everybody, we all live in this United States and we know. But people that compare Sierra Leone, who in a diaspora compare Sierra Leone with Western world. Sierra Leone we broke. The government not have money for pay people them. We said they pull the money. Them policemen they wait in there and so they're not armed. They need to control them. And the ratio to the police is small to the population. So do and I'm when I get for play a great role, okay? Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you, sir. The last two calls, and I'll bring my panelists in because we are long time. I would go way beyond the time. So I'll do the last two calls, and I apologize for the one that waited and go down the line and not going to get to it. I apologize ahead before time, but the panelists have been most fast, and the technical team say fast only for get continue for go pray and sleep. So Lord, take the last two calls, and please. Good evening, caller. What's the call from, please?
Hello.
Yeah, what the name will say the call from, please?
And I'm in Brenda, the call from England.
Yeah, Miss Brenda, 2 minutes, man. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, my own contribution is just simple, you understand it? Because apart from, we look at everything where they go in our country, and some of we were very concerned, we're passionate, you understand? Because we see our country, they divide, you understand that? People and afraid for even talk the truth. When you talk the truth, people and they attack you and everything. Well, like some of we will not belong to no party. I don't say everybody, a lot of people and they talk down there and they belong to party. But because we don't see how this party business here they ruin the country, people are like this incident here now. People are they fail for talk and address issues then. You understand? And because they're so loyal to them party. Like where the president, somebody talk, people and they say, oh, you know, they talk. Right now, it talk. Yes, maybe it go insult certain people them, you understand? But let's look at her on the whole, yeah? For me, the speech, I don't see waiting so bad upon that speech today, to be honest with you. For me, I even pray after that day. Because I say, okay, if then go according to what he say, Salone will begin the things and will begin to put right, you understand? Because the lawlessness of that country, if it continue, nothing not go better in that country. So if the president don't come now to address the lawlessness and let us move forward, we also put hands together, you understand, and pray for the president and hope and pray that it will go down that line there. Because without discipline in that country, nothing not the old Watayanda. Any departments where you go in that country, the corruption, bribery, you understand, a system not even there. So now small, if in the train now, it don't come out now, you understand, and don't forget about party now. Let's just pray and hope, you understand, and talk positive, talk them about the country. All the negative talk, they were small, then they say, oh, Salone not go better until we fair to war. Now we fair to war. We see the effect of the war. Then now people in the incite violence again, they don't forget about what we pass through. No, it's so sorry. You know what I mean, eh? And some of you fed up.
All right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Stoller. God bless you. When we get the last caller. Good evening, caller. What the name say call from, please?
Thank you very much. Yes, Mina Sise, and the call from Maryland.
Yes, Mr. Sise, go ahead. 2 minutes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Really, yes. I read all the other caller them, then talk about, you know, the youth, what the youth can do. But I know they really talk about the problems and what the youth they go through, the things that what they're facing. You see, They say the youth they're idle. But if the government no create programs for the youth, how you expect for the youth to get something for do for occupy their mind? You see.
Yeah, I think you set the distracting. I was turn the volume down.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
You timed the bone. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
You see a student don't come to school. They don't spend 4 years at university. Okay? And they don't come to school. They expect, say, at least you can't get a job. There's no job for them. Okay? The one who didn't qualify for get the job, not only give them the job. So that frustration, I believe, say, 90% some of the youth, then they want to know there's no way for vent them frustration out. So if Adebayo they tell them that they hear words them from Adebayo, okay, I know they say what they do is fine, no, but because the mindset is not occupied. Namion Tiklandi, especially when it comes to the youth, them, the government need to do something for them. Provide programs for them. Even the one that wouldn't come to school, wouldn't go spend 4 years in college, hoping that say wouldn't come to school, they will get work, they will get something for them. Namion Tiklandi.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. May God bless you. And again, I want to apologize to the callers that went on the line when we get to. We don't go way beyond the time. And as now all know, this is not fast month. Most of the people in phone, I get to see few of the screen. We'll get more people in behind the scene with them faster all day, and we get them in. The neighbor cuts them fast. So I would apologize for that up front. So Ms. Martina, I'll come back to you. So I know say you want to respond, but say now we get more time now. We are past the caller them. So now go on and move over to you for let you closing, and after which I will get to Mr. Kutubu. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, so for me, even before I go to my final statement, I will get for address few people them. Just because in then call them point directly to me and say tin then wait and say I say, where if then go back then listen to waiting I say, obviously nowhere have I said what they are purporting that I say. Mr. Bendo, I think say honestly, you've been they relate the show to another show, maybe will happen maybe another time, but definitely if you go back and listen to waiting I say, nowhere you go yeri a condemn how you call them a condone. You know where you go here, say, me, Matilda Cole, condone the destruction of state properties. So make we be careful when we listen to them, show them here, and how we allot blame on people then. You know, me not a woman of integrity, me not a woman of great character and very high standing moral. And I not go sit down somebody go accuse me of something and say waiting I not say the person can't talk saying than they I say. So please, sir, next time before you cast or allot blame on somebody, I go urge you, make you go back and listen carefully to the people, their words. Please, that is very important, especially in the time and season we find we safe, okay? Now, I want to go to somebody by the name of Mr. Abdullahi Kalon. First thing I go say to you, Mr. Abdullahi Kalon, I not expect, please, I not expect you. This is not something that I normally do, but I have to do it when it becomes persistent because that's just the type of person that I am, okay? When you don't say what you get for say done, no come na me personal message and message me and say, oh sister, I'm sorry, you know you na me sister, just be a me no more. No, me no they take them kind Christian day. I know they dance and Chris business. So you've done it once, you've done it twice. This is the third time you're doing it. You cannot come outside now the public and assassinate me character and say things them we're not valid about me, we're not true, and then you go to inbox privately, you go apologize to me. That is not done. You are a man, you get to be honest about your actions them, you and show integrity. Okay? Me na a woman, no can attack me. Listen, if you attack me on a fair play, that's fine. Attack me on the issues. Attack me on a fair play. But not attack me character, not attack my decision, not attack me thinking, and then you go to me inbox, you go apologize to me. I am not that type of person. I don't play such games. Now, you say that I get so much hate for the president. Who say we all two meet up where I go hate him? If even self we all two meet up on side, waiting for make a hate him, is a human being created in the image of God, just like myself, waiting for make another human being, waiting go cause me for hate another human being so much. No, we are talking about issues. We they talk about things and where they happen now with society. I don't talk if our grandparents failed us in moving forward, in challenging certain things, then if our parents were not able to get it done, make we young generation not allow we self for be, you know, a victim of the particular circumstances, then they a victim of how for do, a victim of make we bear, a victim of God day. Make we not allow that. Make we speak up, and by us speaking up, we will effect change. Change not go happen if we sit you know, on the side street and be, you know, silent participators. If we be bystanders, them the only way where change go happen now when we come inside and we be full participators them and we take full responsibilities of we actions them. You they tell me say, you know, I hate the president because of Strasser. Boy, let me tell you something. I left Sierra Leone when I was 8 years old or 7 years old. Me not even remember, between 7 and 8, something like that. I left Sierra Leone. That was a very tender age. What in me sabi but politics then. I come back Sierra Leone at the age of 14. Thrown right into the Mamioka Bintumani negotiation, whatever that was. I left Sierra Leone at the age of turning bleakly. I not even turned 18 before I left Sierra Leone again. Just imagine I left where I 7, I come back. I left before I 18. Whose formation me get within Sierra Leone for belong to a political party, for be loyal to a political party? Whose formation, whose drilling I don't get, whose coaching I don't get within Sierra Leone for form alliance and become so, you know, blinded and become a political party picking. On a left, then kind talk there. Then kind talk there, and I don't bring we usai with this so right now. As somebody open him out and talk something we not agree with una. Somebody open him out and talk something we not align with una belief and una political standings them. Immediately una don't cast the people into the person into a shadow. Immediately una don't give the person title. We know the land. We know the land. I was barely a child when I left Sierra Leone. When I came back, I was still a child. When I left, I was still a child, for crying out loud. Waiting una wants with people them. Just because people are bold enough to research their history, to be in the know and the current of what's going on in their country and be full participators for the change in their country, no mean for say una for continue for label people them. You tell me, say, waiting am on with Strasser. Waiting am on with Strasser and be away for make a hate him. Why should I? He's a human being like myself. You see, I not talk where Adebayo talk. And now let me tell you people, choose what you listen to. Choose what you listen to. Choose what you listen to. Of course, you know, go hear comments about Adebayo, because for me, Adebayo is a non-entity. Adebayo is a non-entity. Wait till make a go comment about Adebayo. Me no one day yari, but Adebayo in audios and in videos. I hear people talking about it, but doesn't mean me, Matilda Nayaso, go waste me precious time for go yari something will not be elevative to me, will not be educative to me, will not be progressive to me. Waiting for me, I go waste me precious time where God don't give me na this earth for waste time. For non-entity, for waste and uselessness. No, choose what you listen to people. Choose what you know they put now on mind them and now on hate them. Because then they contribute to how they react na the society. You know? I mean, for the president, here is what I have to say. For me, when you are ready to clean house, you clean house within first before you take and go outside. You know the sweep from the parlor, kind of the room. No, now from the room you the sweep go to the parlor, then you sweep and go to the veranda, then you sweep and go to the door. That is what I am saying to the president. Now, you might say that my words are inflammatory. No, they are not inflammatory. If you now go once for make people and they tell you now waiting una one for yeri, but trust me, the one way not they tell you waiting you want for yeri, but when they tell you something where you you think about, you say, you know what thing? That is in a trip in Choco. You know what thing? When you come to think about it, you know it make a lot of sense in waiting is say, oh. You know, I don't see where the very president don't talk for say, let us stop this hypocrisy. And I don't see where the very president sit on a public forum talk for say, you know what? You are my supporters. You can go out there and be violent and be ruthless and say whatever you want to say. You see and where he commend, you know, London Jet and say, you know, one person will go praise, we not be ever sit down. We them been they attack me in a London Jet. They take fire for fire. That is what the opposition was about. He was in opposition. He as the opposition had choose to be quiet, but in follower they're not being quiet. Now the same thing, APC also gets people in opposition. Some of the leadership might choose to be quiet. No mean for say them followers then go be choose to be quiet. But here is what I am telling the president. Please, if you are serious about cleaning house, begin sweep from the room. You know, go sit down, you get a minister of defense. We're so loose, we're so radical. We can talk any kind internal affairs, we can talk any kind thing, spew any kind thing. You know, put them under discipline. You the constituency 101 election. We saw what happened there where a minister or cabinet, whatever, you know, destroyed ballot box. Get at that time you not be measured enough for talk waiting you come and talk about. And even in your speech today, that was an opportunity to address that. For say, you know what? This thing is not a one-sided thing. Everybody has equal blame. Everybody has an equal role to play here. Your wife where you married, now that make us say where you begin sweep inside your room. You see where he come and talk for say if people defy certain codes, let mob justice be exerted upon them. You see where Josephine Kadi of the SLPP come and threaten the lives of people them. Like, come on, let us not be biased in our thinking. Let us be very objective in our thinking. If we continue to play the same biasness, trust me, we no go end fine. We no go end fine at all. Let us be measured. Like I say, me not say make the president not be assertive. Of course, he's the president. He has to be assertive. He has to show leadership. But in being assertive, he also has to show a sense of measuredness. A sense of measuredness. Make it show measured. And not say make it not be assertive, but when you want for clean house and when you want for talk about clean house, begin from the room, kind of the parlor, go na the veranda, and then go na domot, and then sweep and go na gutter, or sweep and go na street. And then when you reach na street, make sure say you touch shovel and you get that you dirty and you go put in a dirty box. Now then they me they talk about the people of Sierra Leone. COVID is real. COVID is real. Una protect una self. Una wear una mask them. Una wash una hand them. May God bless Mama Salone. May God bless we all. And in this our generation, please let us stop this business of APC, SLPP, APC, SLPP, party Pekin, party this, loyalist this, loyalist this. How about we think about the one thing that we all came to meet, which is the green, white, and blue, Mama Salone. When we die, we dey left am. Make we not left them like how we grandpapa them left them. Make we not left them like how we mama them and we papa them go left them. Make we left them better than how we meet them. That is why I have no stake. Other than me grandpapa and me grandma, me the land way sit down inside, the house the way sit down inside. I have no stake in Sierra Leone. All my siblings were born here. I am the only person that was born outside of Sierra Leone. I have lived outside of Sierra Leone longer than I have lived anywhere else. So I get no stake. I can go and sell that land there and forget about everything else. But please, when people they put their salt and pepper and their heart pouring their heart out for their country, don't sit there and be calling them names because you're too coward to do what they have the bold mind to do. You think we are Sidon Ayaso and they rain insult on people they left, right, and center. You feel to say not your mama born me, I not deserve blessing. You feel to say I deserve curse or I deserve curse coming from you. No, I don't deserve it, but I take it all. Because I know what I'm working towards. Next time when you decide for point finger at me and you decide for cost me, think about the mama way born you and the papa way born you. And not for say like how you mama carry you 9 months, now so it carry myself 9 months for give me blessing.
All right. Thank you very much. Wow. Mr. Kutu, will I bring you in for your last word, sir, before Mr. will come in. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Somebody misconstrued. I talk about education. If you take offense to that, sorry about it. That's it. Good night to everybody.
All right. Well, thank you very much to all my callers and viewers and everybody around the world. Again, one thing, first of all, Martin, let me go just calm down because the point is that for we sit down now, it takes a lot of courage. Not a bunch of cowards and go to sit down, so we sit down. Secondly, for let you come now and say your own speech, for let you say something what you believe in. I don't tell you. See, most people don't get mind do what they do to consider and tell the truth because you know what? Then they look up and they wait for the government get a job. They never get personal job on their own. So people them there because of religion, because of region, because of tribe, because of certain connection. They go wait for consider the truth. Like me, I don't talk complaint to them. Me and mommy where he born me and grandpa represent the SPP from Parliament Tego. Me and mommy, me entire family, a bunch of strong SPP people in. Me and brother-in-law right now they serve into his administration when I'm close person to the president. Most people don't say the president way are no personally. So for that do this something where a candid, not something where a phone. But guess what? I care less about them all in position. Even me and mommy right now in a bush. If I talk about SPP, that's the one. But guess what? Me mommy don't live in your life. I get for left a legacy from young Peking. So I get for stand for waiting right, not for waiting popular. Me on job now for make sure say we talk to the president and tell them the truth, not them face so then go do waiting right. So tomorrow when they left, then get for go. Any president we can the longest they get for spend out 10 years. Waiting they left behind now we all get for enjoy. Not to one person in the left and four now we all in the left and four. But we all different. We patriotism different. Everybody you know where I see country and how it is support is different. So again, now we know Vex wouldn't come after we don't sign in for this one. We go for some benefit for the doubt. The same people they fight for and then go for attack. We know that. We young brother and sister they fight for and then get for attack. Most people they talk about freedom of speech, freedom of expression. They don't know what it means. Then if you say freedom of speech and for say what in they like. Then we like go attack right and who attack them go vex. That's the point. That's the reality. You see, we other person that way not like na bad thing, freedom of not to freedom of expression, but what the person we in like do na freedom of expression, freedom of speech. So again, we don't know what we want. We're confused. Okay, but at the end of the day, you get few people there. Like we bold enough for to show we face and talk openly because you know what, we're not scared of no politician. The message you do, you go lock me in jail, you kill me, so what? It's still not good for stop because we know what to stand for is the truth. We're not going for Benham, we're not for Twitter. Now I come to the president in speech. I tell the president thank you in the first place because you know what, we all ask for him several times. Come up, sir. You know the man of the papa of the country. Come out. We don't need for CUF. They can't talk to me. Now you own job that one. They're not to Fatima we vote for. Now you vote for. So today, even though plenty people then come on social media and cry out several times, they decide for coming and do them. We go tell them thank you for recommend them for that all bold step where you take. Say they come out and talk. Yes, we tell them thank you. But at the end of the day, we are in speech, and I will give them kudos on some part of the speech. Also, I know say you want to talk tough and do what's right because with Salone politics, the Salone go in flames, we get for blame them. Now, in there before, I know they blame nobody. Then tell incident will happen, even though another day, I know blame put much blame on them, but I will still blame them for them because you know what? Now in the power right now is leadership. We need leadership. Where you get a good, strong and good leader, but could if happen or happen. So again, come to the president's speech. Me go talk say, most of them say where you say, yes, great. But the point is how much you believe in that speech where you get today. We know the speech program now wanting for you execute what is in that speech is a whole lot more than the speech itself. So for let you start for tell we say you plan, you ready for stop corruption, you ready for stop that nonsense. Let we see where one of you do what you go do. Let me see you talk about corruption. You say you fight corruption. One of you people in TFS, when you not in a saka will not say you do. Your chief minister, they accuse them, say he get into money laundering. What you done? The journalists will accuse and now you go attack. Your anti-corruption boss go attack. So, but putting in the way would they look at, what would they feel say, you and the people around you, they shoot yourself now your foot. Leadership, now something we have to take a tough role. What will begin to you go after the one day and wait and they near you. I promise you, the one in the fight for me go realize there is no joke. They know they come around. But when you go after the one and fight, they touch on the near, you don't want to believe in you. And leadership is about trust. The people for believe in you, people for really confide in you. When people believe in your leadership, I promise you, say then they support you. Even some of you support in the kind of social media right now, they talk to behind the scene, then they show more you. Behind the scene, they don't believe you're a strong leader. So again, some of we not go behind the scene and Congo you. We get for come out and tell you plain. Because you know what, we love the country. We love a country more than we on lives themselves. Now that make we not afraid when they come and tell you plain. So do you, as I say, if you feel say this speech where you get today, this speech where you give, you really believe in now, we start with one close to you, where they do this, where they do something wrong, put them out. Send them to the court. Let all masses to the court deal with them. Not if just sack and set him out and push her, and after 2-3 months you go get other position, other corner. That's not how you run the government. Most people them support you. Most people them vote for you because you know what? Like I mean, I was so I fight against APC tooth and nail for pulling up power. Because if you where you come, you go put strong discipline in place. But Kuba team they go on a Salome. If you say where you come because of your military background, you for don't put something in place where Salome for don't take 2 or 3 steps. But again, when you come, your administration only one of the most undisciplined administration. Most of you ministers they do everything with impunity. Worse than what APC may do in less than 2 years. So today, as much as I applaud you, I go still only foot to the fire and say, they look up to your speech where you say, not if I just go after the opposition or for saying that the blame and say APC do everything. We well know say most of that is from that part of the speech not make much sense. Now conflicts now both sides they come out. You as a leader, therefore the olive branch, therefore reach out. So but then see when you talk to you send the vice president to the former president. What about you just call him and talk to her? What about you find a way for talk to this man here? If the man corrupts, let the court deal with her, not a young issue that one day. You know, executive branch. Let the court come out and prove say the man do something wrong. Then just don't with the white paper and you don't go put under bed. You're not after the way they hand over to you. So Lord, we wait for Corona, don't know what you go do until then. Una the workforce together. Una they come out and they move around and talk to the people then. Nobody not going to stop you from going to the APC office. Nobody. What about if you are going to the APC office and go meet them and tell them, put the people in there and talk to them? What about if you go now the north, talk to them? You are the man. Nobody, Kuruma not get no power in that country anymore. Who say you go President Kuruma no go? What did they say President Kuruma? Why President Kuruma for still be more popular in the country over you as the president? Why are they buying for be all land? People they listen to are more than you. You don't see something wrong? Mr. President, we love you. We want to let you succeed. But some of them people when they blow you fan, they don't want to let you succeed at all, sir. And we not go to they shumo you because we the language we country for young people. That not right for we. God not go forgive. We not go forgive. We picking them. So we not sugarcoat you. If we need for love, come hard at you so that you could do the best thing for Salone, we go do them. Because you know what, we're not voting because we love you. So people don't do that. But if now love people and they vote for, now eat money in them for don't go, not to police station. Now eat money for don't go. So when people talk say no love the president, hate the president, it's just nonsense. People they vote president in because they love him. Then they vote you because they feel say you they can't deliver. Now that's what they vote you for. If now love them once, now love sight and they go. So dear, I would beg you, sir. This is not about love. This is about you do what is right for your people. Anybody, the APC way you call so, their speech and not an anchor speech for gay. Gay speech about criminals. Everybody get criminal. Every party get them bad people. You get good people and bad people. Not lump everybody. You get good APC people that want to work with you. You just don't appoint Alpha Khan. Alpha Khan is an APC. This is what we're talking about. You don't just do a very good job for bring someone like Alpha Khan so that Ingo able come here close to you. It will reach people. But when you say all APC, we don't want everybody, the good one or bad, we don't put it all together. When you say SAP, we don't put the good and bad. So now you want to defend all SAP, you want the good and bad also? No, sir. You, whether not APC, SAPPO, NGCO, you're not still the leader of all these people. You are above all these leader political parties. You are above all your leaders them. Now you're not the leader for all them parties of that country, regardless. Because you know what? You not to just SAPP president, you're not Salone president. You're above each and everybody. So again, I know some people in there around you, we then still want to go for tit for tat, but we wish them all the best. If they mean best for the country, let go help them out. If they mean worse for the country, if you got not hit them, you go hit them picking them later. Because you know what? If somebody picking suffer, you say you're going for suffer. So if you have that White House say you take the people their money, you say you support the Salone people them, but you don't go behind the president and they give bad advice for come after people them, so that everybody other people them pick them will suffer. Most of the like people can do overseas. That's when nobody will not go on. Will they pay you to money? Do the right thing. Thank you very much. I will continue to pray for you, Mr. President, for let you succeed. Because if you succeed, we don't succeed. We don't spend 2 years, we'll not see much. We get 3 more years for go. Every single day critical. Thank you very much. And we will continue for let God, we pray for let God bless you. Let God make this corona not come anywhere close to you. And let God give the people, better people around you. So the next 3 years, make you go transform Salone. We know say you get good at. We know say you mean good for Salone. But do ya, being people them close to you, we then go make you manifest it in them. Because tomorrow, then say people here, I then go for turn against you tomorrow. I then go for 2 you're not the boss. I then go for sell you to the streets. Be careful the people that keep around you. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless all we Salone people around the world. We pray for now. This corona make it come and go, may not touch we none. Let God continue for elevate the country. I want to say the youth then. When I get a responsibility. For go burn people in Moscow is not part of you. Not a responsibility that. If you do that, you're not a youth, you're not a criminal. You're not a criminal that you need for in a prison, you need for in a jail. If somebody incites you, you get your own common sense for no what's bad and what's good. You can protest peacefully. But when you're gonna sit and begin cause riot, you don't become a criminal. You're not a peaceful citizen anymore. The police get right for come after you, making you not go lost your life. If anybody kill on the street, I promise you, nothing not get for commodity. Nothing not get for commodity. Then kill you, nothing not the commodity. We go talk now on social media, say we talk, they don't talk to nothing not the commodity. My man, they wear black for nothing. Be smart enough. On a good night, God bless we all, and let God make we all come together. We're not going for agree on the same thing, but again, let we talk candidly with respect. Let God push the country forward, because that country we all love. God bless you all, and good night, everybody. Till we see you again next Friday. Tata, everybody.
The world is sick, fear has grieved the heart of each inhabitant over the virus. Thousands of lives have been lost. Graveyard is full of competent, talented figures. We are all lost. We don't know what to do to get the cure that see us through. Others are crying, see their children dying. But all is not lost. God, we put our trust in you. We are saying to you, COVID-19, you cannot defeat us. Heal the world, heal the world. Jehovah, we losing too many souls. Heal the world, heal the world. Your love is getting out of control. Your love, your love. Save your people, save the world. Jehovah, Jehovah. Wash your hands regular, abstain from being a mingler. Accept isolation until there is solution. Avoid public gathering, let's keep it from spreading. Oh my people, let's take precautions. It's time to wage war against every virus or any outbreak affecting our lives. We are stronger with God. We are mightier. Yahweh. We are warriors, and we always conquer. Heal the world, heal the world. Jehovah, we losing too many souls. Heal the world, heal the world. Your love is getting out of control. Your love, your love. weak